So I have started streaming, and I'll see when it shows on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
What's Parsec?
it's an altcoin. It's um yeah, you need to look up the details. I don't even know, but it sounds like it's legit to me. Like that's the legit project. It's already up a lot.
Okay,
So
guys, we are officially live on YouTube, just so you know. So,
What
if you,
can you tell me?
and at this time, let's see, one watching now, and I'm sure that's me, by the way. So we don't have any
I got a
live
live.
audience yet.
So I got a live stream also.
Okay, gotcha. Hey,
Uh,
GFI, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind watching the live stream? And Ed and Nevada Cario checked in. Hey there, buddy. And then,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to go there, TC.
Awesome. That way you can read to us anything that shows up. Because when I have it up on my screen, then I have a million mirrored copies of whatever shows up. So, yeah, if you could read that for us in real time when people are typing stuff in, that would be great.
Can you put the link to the live stream
I'll
in
do
the
my
chat?
best.
Okay,
Playing
gotcha.
from Dimitri's MacBook Pro.
Hang on, I'll get you a copy to the live stream right now, gang. Throwing it in the chat.
but my live stream.
We
No,
haven't
but
gone.
the
We haven't gone to yours yet, Craig. We will though.
Okay,
Um,
right now I'm just playing some racing game for
okay.
GameCube.
Okay,
Got it up on
gotcha.
It's entertaining to watch if you need something to put on there.
Yep,
You know.
gotcha. Okay. All right. So we have
so
Nevada Cario with us. So hello to Nevada Cario, buddy. Hey, we're gonna talk about a lot of things tonight, and I'm gonna try and actually work on some things in my office while we're doing the chat. So I won't be sitting in front of the computer the whole time, but I will, of course, be, on my headset and actively participating in the voice chat. So happy New Year to everybody. We have several people watching us now.
so Chaos, how do you spell that thing? The Parsec?
Yeah, PARSIQ, I think it was. Parsec.
PARSIQ.
Yeah.
SIQ. So
Yeah, PARSIQ, I think it was. Parsec.
PARSIQ.
Hey, Dimmy. We're getting feedback from you, buddy. It sounds like we're hearing the live stream coming through on your speakers.
Do you still hear it?
Not now.
Okay.
And welcome, Dimmy. Welcome, GFI, Chaos Craig. Of course, we have American Man 1967. We have Mentskate with us, Mike from Maine, and Wanderer. And hello to everybody watching on YouTube, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, we have Resin Nun is here. Guy, 1967.
That would be American Man.
Yep.
All right. He can help out here.
Okay.
Yep, that's why I'm in here.
Gotcha. Take a quick look in there. And let's see. Resin Nun. Hey there, buddy. And Nevada Cario. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, this is free floating tonight, gang. So we're going to basically talk about cryptocurrencies tonight. We're going to talk about gold and silver. We're going to talk about the markets in 2020. We're going to talk about the beer flu, probably, and the serum that goes along with it. And anything else you guys want to talk about. So, anything in regards to truth, money, and freedom. And right now, Chaos Craig is talking with Mentskate about basically Ripple and other cryptocurrencies. So you guys go ahead and listen in, and basically, if you have any questions, just type them right in the live stream there in YouTube.
okay. So another thing I wanted, which is an argument I heard for XRP over Bitcoin, is that Tether and USDT can print money like it's fiat, and it'll get injected into Bitcoin, which is why we've seen the massive explosion recently. Now, again, for the live stream, that's just what I heard. Okay, I just wanna, which is actually the video I posted in the news earlier, and it shows it at the 9-minute mark. That's the argument I heard there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a thing. Everybody's been saying a long time that Tether's been used to pump the Bitcoin price, but I mean, it's a variable. But I think it's kind of crazy to say that's the only variable, right? We've got huge institutions moving in, Michael Saylor, billionaires, all kinds of new funds, and so and Tether does have a reserve of some kind, so it's not like you could just counterfeit as many Tether as you want. There is a fractional reserve, and those Tethers will have to be redeemed for real dollars at some point. So it's basically it's no different than taking out a loan, right? You borrow dollars from the bank doesn't have those dollars, and then you use those dollars to buy things to make bid the price up, right?
Pretty much.
So it's not really, and that's exactly what Michael Saylor is doing by taking out, by buying $1 billion worth and then taking out another loan for like 500 million to buy even more Bitcoin, So you could say, oh, is it Tether that's pumping the price, or is it like fractional reserve banking that's pumping the price? I think it's fractional reserve banking that's pumping the price, and Tether is merely just one manifestation of that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, with zero interest rates, you could borrow as many, you could borrow as much into existence as you want, and that's the way to hack the whole system is to borrow money to buy Bitcoin, because you get to borrow money at no borrowing cost, and then you get to buy Bitcoin that goes up 100% a year.
Yep. And that is actually Craig, I'm really glad you brought that up, because that's, basically what it's all about, isn't it? Talk about an opportunity. Borrow money, buy Bitcoin, and then pay back that Bitcoin with 10% of what you made.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about an arbitrage opportunity. And by the way, it's not just Bitcoin. You could do that in any crypto that you're charting, and you have a pretty good feeling is going up.
You could even make a profit on metals.
Yeah.
Versus metal.
Yeah. So
one thing I did
go ahead.
point out. One thing I did want to point out though is that it seems like, well, first of all, Tether has a bigger market cap, or I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but like a bigger market cap than Bitcoin and Ethereum combined.
Yeah, market capitalization. That's why they were being investigated, Craig, wasn't it?
No. Tether does not have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin. That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
Well, I'm not sure what it was. Let me look into the video and see what he said. But it was like I think it was like the total amount of money in it.
It's not even close.
Let's see.
Okay. Sojourner 1511
Yes.
is asking, how do you buy without an ID?
That's quite difficult, in fact, Sojourner. And like, for instance, getting into cryptocurrencies through Coinbase, you're going to have an ID. They have a KYC program, Know Your Customer. And you're not going to be able to get around that very easily. There is one way that many of us are fond of. Craig and I are actively doing it. It's called mining crypto. Once you get some crypto mined, if you do it in small quantities, many exchanges don't want your driver's license for small exchanges. However, once you have an appreciable amount of crypto, they definitely want to know who you are before you take it off. And it's
here's the thing, he's saying he bought $6 worth of Bitcoin in 2012, $259 today, but he can't touch it.
Okay. All right, gotcha. All right, interesting. Where do you have it, Sojourner? Where is it located? Is it like at Coinbase or something?
Volume. That's what it was. My bad. So the volume of Tether is bigger than Ethereum and Bitcoin combined.
Yeah, because people are using Tether to trade as a trading pair for them.
His only ID is a some type of card.
A VA medical card.
Oh,
Okay. That's going out of my realm of experience. So that's your only ID, but you bought $10 worth of Bitcoin in 2012. It's probably worth quite a bit more now. And where
It was $6 and it's $2.59 now. He's saying.
Okay,
And it's on
259.
Coinbase.
It's on Coinbase. Okay, gotcha. Couple of things you can do. Do you know anyone in real life that actually has a Coinbase account or will be willing to purchase that Bitcoin from you for that $259? If so,
Check out
problem
local
solved.
Bitcoin.
Go ahead.
Local Bitcoins.
Yeah, and also ATM, Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah, well, no, you still need the KYC for the Bitcoin ATM, but I'm talking about local Bitcoins. You can meet someone in person with cash and
Yep.
buy their Bitcoin.
Yep.
But does he have access to the account?
Yes, he has access to the account. He can't withdraw it though.
In that, why can't he withdraw it?
Because he hasn't put in an identification with Coinbase. There's
well,
Mintscape, there's a lot of people that want the anonymity that comes along with cryptocurrencies, and the U.S. government is making that very, very difficult. And
Well, he says he's been disabled for 14 years,
Yeah.
and he might not have a regular ID.
yep, gotcha.
So I was reading about these flight taxes in Germany, in Nazi Germany, in the war, right? And it's sounding like exactly like America today.
Okay.
With the new exit taxes for,
Yep.
expatriating and so on and so forth.
It shouldn't
So,
surprise
so if
me.
you leave America, they're going to tax you?
Correct.
When did this start?
Well, the higher exit taxes started when Obama came in.
So if I left this country, they would tell me I have to pay them money.
That is correct.
Well,
I wouldn't pay them a dime.
So that's the other thing is they can change those. They could change the rate you pay them, and they could change the limit. I know in Nazi Germany that it was started as 25%, and then it ended up going up to like 96% over like a 5-year period. So, if they have it where it is now, they could easily change it whenever they feel like it, right?
Yep.
They could easily change it to anything they want, anytime they want, whatever they feel like. And you're just at their mercy because it's their country and their government, and that's it.
So do we have any links to that?
That's
What?
easy to find, American man. No, we don't have links readily available right now. All you have to do is Google America exit tax.
Right.
But the flight tax in Nazi Germany, I was reading a Wikipedia article about it last night. The flight tax, so you can Google that and look at the flight tax. No different than what we have today.
Yep.
Because you and your property don't belong to yourself. It
Nope.
belongs to the state.
And that's a good argument, Craig, for actually the entire anarchist model. I'm a libertarian, and I believe in a little bit of government, but when government starts doing crap like this, exit taxes, property taxes are wholly unethical. They should not be allowed in the United States. The Constitution says we will not have them, yet we have them. Because it's
Right.
not a federal property tax; it's a state or local property tax. And the politicians will be the first ones to point at the Constitution and say, "See, it doesn't say anything about your county charging you sales, just the federal government." Well, yeah, but the founding fathers says there will never be property taxes
They
because
also didn't have an income tax back then.
that's correct. Income tax also. They had to amend the Constitution to get that in, and they did that unlawfully as well. So, yeah, a lot of things are changing in America, but the exit tax that Craig brings up, that's probably one of the more recent things they've done that's tyrannical. But also, they're trying to get money out of people trading cryptocurrencies in the form of capital gains taxes. You have to remember, from this point of view, from everyone in this chat, the government is becoming, a little bit overreaching. They really don't care about you. Poor Chaos Craig is in frickin' New York. You know,
Yeah.
and that's one of the most tyrannical. And we have American Man, 1967, in California, two of the most tyrannical states we have in the Union. You know, and but yeah, I'm sorry, Craig. I mean, sometimes I understate things, but you got my meaning.
Sojourner says it's a corporation.
The United States government is a corporation, and so are all cities. All cities are incorporated as well. Some counties are, some counties are not.
Going back to Sojourner and his Coinbase problem, he could give it to someone with a complete Coinbase account and have them extract the money and give it to him.
Yeah.
If he trusts that, or he could use US. He can turn it into, or he can just spend it with Bitcoin. Like he doesn't really have to turn it into fiat.
Well, this is really easy. I mean, he could meet up with somebody, literally transfer it to their Bitcoin wallet, and once they have confirmation that they have the Bitcoin, give them the money. And
He doesn't want to sell, guys. He's telling people to buy. He just can't touch it. Maybe to buy more, it looks like.
oh, gotcha.
Well,
Okay. Yeah,
Well-
no. Yeah, we're all Bitcoin people in here, by the way. Bitcoin, you'll find that most people in here also have Monero. However, Monero is currently banned from U.S. exchanges. You know, because the U.S. government is so. Go ahead, Craig.
U.S. citizens don't have the same rights or freedoms that non-U.S. tax slaves have.
That's correct. The U.S. government is afraid of Monero.
You're not permitted to have privacy.
Right.
That's what they're saying, is that you don't have the right to privacy because you are our property.
Mm-hmm.
We, the government, own you and your property, and you are not permitted.
What Sojourner can do as well is if he turns it into fiat, he could just turn it immediately back into Bitcoin when he has the money, once he has with the new with maybe like an offshore account. Because I know Kraken, if he wants to use a U.S. exchange, Kraken can you can make a Kraken account without without the you can't use fiat, but if you use
Hey, Dimmy.
wait,
What the fuck?
Dimmy, you got that taken care of there, buddy?
Yes,
okay, so if he uses Kraken, he doesn't need to put in an ID. He needs to put in like a residence, you can, but you can just put fake stuff like a fake city, or not a fake city, but a city you don't live in, a fake address you don't live in, and a thing.
Okay. Yep. I'm sure he knows all of that. And another strategy, of course, is to use Bitcoin to buy gold, have gold delivered to your house, take the gold to the pawn shop. There's lots of different strategies. I meant for getting out of Bitcoin and trying to avoid the tax man or whatever. We don't advocate any of those, by the way, at all. We don't advocate those, but people, do your research, know what you're getting into when you get into cryptocurrencies, and realize the U.S. government wants their 40 pounds of flesh out of your 100-pound body, especially when Biden gets in office, if he does.
So yeah, here's the thing, right? So if you take your Bitcoin and go buy gold, that's still traceable on the Bitcoin blockchain, and they know you did that, and they can see what you did with it. So you know, depending if they investigate you or not, they will see it. You did that.
Yep.
So really, the best thing to do is to buy a Bitcoin, hold, do not spend on it on anything ever, and don't invest in America. Don't buy real estate, and just wait. Just sit on your Bitcoin and wait. And that's it. Because the U.S. government might not be around after for another 100 years, and we'll just wait till then. Okay.
Yep. But also,
One on
too,
one.
Craig, I mean, another point is, if you bought Bitcoin at, let's just say $29,000, where it's at right now, and it goes up to $100,000, and you have to pay 40% taxes. You can show you purchased it for 29. They're only going to tax you on the 70,000 that you make and take 40% of that. And that's under the hypothetical scenario that Joe Biden gets in office.
Well,
Capital
not
gain. Go ahead.
really, because it's actually well, after this that Medicare surcharge that Obama added in, it's 43.5% federal, and then New York will be 9%. It'll be 15% by then. So you'd be talking about a 55% tax.
Wow.
Sooner. That's why you don't even bother selling it. You know what? Don't invest your money in America at all, and don't even bother. You know what you could do is you could post your Bitcoin as collateral, take out a loan, because that's not a taxable offense.
Yep.
And then you could use that loan to buy, real estate, and then use the renters to pay the mortgage back, and then get your Bitcoin back, get your house, and but with stagflation and taxes set to rise at rates faster than wages in perpetuity, you got to wonder how much room that's going to leave for home and business equity. So will private property even exist in America's future? I don't think so. So I don't know. I'm not going to even bother.
Well, private property doesn't even exist.
No, there is no such thing as private property in the United States anymore. It's all real estate. That ended with the ending of the Homestead Act. And what used to be allowable in the United States is you could buy back the bond for your property. So here's how it works, gang. And I know that this is kicking a dead horse for many of you, but give me a moment here. Our YouTube viewers may not know this. Under the Homestead Act, you could actually get a piece of property, draw it out, basically know how big it is, live on it, farm on it, and then bam, it became your property. What happened was, once that was pretty much complete and America was quote unquote colonized, pretty much fully, they created bonds on the county level, sometimes the state level. So the state or county created bonds, and they kept the bonds. What they allowed you to do for a time was go to the county, pay extortion fees, buy the bond so you could own your property. Now that's not allowed anymore. You cannot buy the bond for your property, which they created out of the thin air. And so you can never truly own your property ever. You will always have to pay tax on it because the county or the state or the city owns the bond. And they will not sell it to you. They'll never let you have it. So you just keep paying taxes on it.
What about properties that don't have bonds in the hands of the government, like the people who bought their own bonds?
Okay, that private property still exists in America. However, what happens is over time, over generations, sometimes this piece of land has been in the property, this piece of land's been in the family for 150 years, and then suddenly someone wants to sell it, and it's worth so much money that no one can come up with the cash for it. In order to get a bank loan for that property, it must be real estate. It is illegal to use a bank loan to buy private property. Many people don't know that. If you're going to buy private property, you must have the cash for it, or whatever the person will accept in exchange for the property. So if they want gold, for instance, you could do that too. But the fact of the matter is you got to have the cash up front. And it's become impossible now because real estate has been bid up so badly by the printing of currency that the real price of property is inflated beyond the ability of most people to be able to buy property without a bank loan.
Yeah. And also, if you don't have property tax attached to your property, that will be built into the price of that property. If there is such a thing.
Yep, some states do not. I think there's like 3 or 4 states in the union that don't have property tax. In other words, they kept their deal with their citizens, their resident, on the Homestead Act. All the other states, including Missouri and New York and California, broke their word with the people, the residents that live there. But that, is as common as, like, for instance, we voting in a tax right now that never goes away. And suddenly our grandkids who aren't even born yet are beholden to that tax. They had no say over it. And they're simply born into a situation where they have to pay this tax that people that aren't even alive anymore voted in. That's immoral.
Taxation without representation.
Correct.
And even so, so anyway, government wants to grow itself exponentially forever, and in New York, they have a big budget hole in the because of the recession, and we knew that would happen.
Yep.
We all knew that these big government high tax states. So they got this giant hole in the budget now. Instead of cutting spending, God forbid, right, on the pork barrel projects, all this stuff they do with our money that we don't want them to do. Instead, they have to raise our taxes on us because it's their country and their state, and our labor is their property, and so because it's called slavery, and so now they're going to raise taxes. So so what happens if people aren't making as much and property taxes go up? How could real estate? I don't understand how real estate prices can stay where they are. I just don't get it. But
well,
but yeah, if you have to pay more property tax, and your property tax is going to keep going up, that would cut out room for home equity.
Yep.
And it's both, because it's not like you asked for it, the price of your property go up, right? And they charge you property taxes based on the price of your property, but they're the ones who decide how much your property is worth by deciding how much money to print.
Yep.
Right.
That's correct.
So they have these limits on your property taxes based on your home value, but you buy a home and then they make the price go up exponentially, and your wages don't go up exponentially. So and the property tax is proportional to the home price, so that's going up exponentially.
Can I ask something?
These governments got all their smoke and mirrors tricks all put together. And
you said real estate and property like two different things, and I thought they were like the same thing, right?
No.
But what is the difference?
The difference between real estate and property? Be very happy to explain. Okay. Property is private property is when an individual owns the land and anything on the land. Real estate is when you lease the land from your county, your city, or your state, because you have to pay property taxes. That's real estate. Private property is no taxes, you own it. So that's the difference between the two classifications.
It's kind of surprising that there isn't. Well, it's not surprising, but it's just I feel like there is a massive. There is so much potential for reaction from American people who let's say they were actually told what's going on, but it seems like
you're going muffled and then coming back and going muffled and coming back. Medscape.
Yeah.
Is there anything you could do to prevent that from happening?
I don't know what's going on with the microphone.
Okay. All right. We'll try again. Say what you were saying again. You were fading in and fading out. You got real muffled there, and I couldn't understand what was happening when you were muffled.
Well, it seems like American people are getting pawned by the government, and the government should only, or whoever rules the people, really should only be let to rule the people by the decision of the people, right? And I'm not even talking about like how it should be. It's basically how it is. Even it's just that if the population is overly agreeable to the government, then nothing will happen. But technically, if they wanted to, it wouldn't be the case. And I see that there's this like massive potential of an uprising, but not an uprising, but like maybe even like a peaceful revolution. By I'm guessing like all the injustices that are set in the legislation.
Okay. I got.
PC want to check the chat out too.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but
Okay.
anyway, it's this massive, put like a reaction that could happen but doesn't happen because nobody really talks about it. Like no one's doing anything because no one talks about it.
Okay.
Listen, we just gotta wait for hyperinflation, and then people will do something about it. But not before then. So you gotta wait till it's too late.
Well, well, yeah, I actually think it's possible if everyone just stops being so compliant.
Okay. And by the way, that's stuff we talk about on the chat all the time. Um, and let's actually pause that for a second because we have a lot of people chiming in YouTube, and we'd like to acknowledge that real quick. Meet Skate. We'll be back to
Mm.
this. First of all, Man Bear Pig has joined us, so welcome to Man Bear
Okay.
Pig.
Hey,
And let's see, Resin None. We've already said hello.
how many people do we have?
We have 12 people watching right now on YouTube.
Huh.
Let's see, and also a Sojourner says, but you can exchange for Monero. That is correct. You can, but I'm not sure you can do that on American exchanges. You can't do that on Gemini or Bittrex. You have to go to another exchange to get Monero. You can't do it on American exchanges because the American government is at war with Monero right now because Monero is ultra private. Monero was built for anonymity and for no taxes. And the American government disagrees with that. They think there should be, completely wide open, like Ripple, completely wide open, like the Federal Reserve or their second balance sheet, completely wide open. But apparently it's okay for them to actually contain and privatize and hide everything to do with the monetary system in the United States.
Yeah.
But Monero, no, 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 you can't do that. If we can't control you, you can't be private. Or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't be anonymous. So
Yet they have no, fiscal constraint, and they haven't had a budget audit on the Pentagon in 40
right,
years. You know,
yeah,
so you know what? Now here's the problem: if you take your Bitcoin off, say, a KYC exchange, they know you bought it, and then they could see that it went to another exchange, and then they could say, "Hey, where's your capital gains tax for that?"
hmm
Right? If you exchanged it for something else, we need to know because that Bitcoin went up between the time that you moved it off that first exchange onto that second exchange, and we could see you moved it to that exchange.
right.
So
Well, and the really big thing here is basically cryptocurrencies came into being basically and it could have been created by the government, the NSA, but they were created for one thing and one thing only, which is to be used as currency. It just so happens that many of them were created to be private cryptocurrencies, anonymous cryptocurrencies. The government doesn't
also,
like that.
it's
Go ahead.
interesting. It's interesting how they're created to be currencies, but we want to tax them like property,
Correct.
right? But then we also want to regulate them like currencies,
Yep.
and then we also want to regulate them like commodities. So the commodity, so the CFTC can regulate it, so the SEC can regulate it, so that the FinCEN can regulate it, so that the Treasury can regulate it, so the IRS can tax it, right?
Right.
Literally every single
Hey,
agency
Conjecture,
is
we got a lot of wind coming from your microphone. Welcome to Conjecture, by the way.
Sorry about that.
Okay. And
Hey
Conjecture.
guys, I'm gonna head out by the way.
Okay.
So, see you guys.
All right. Happy New Year to you,
Nice
man.
talking to you. Yeah, Happy New Year. All right, see you guys.
All right. Take care, man.
So yeah, so IRS thinks it's property because they can tax property. FinCEN thinks it's currency because they want to regulate currency.
Mm-hmm.
And then the CFTC thinks it's a commodity because they want to regulate commodities.
Mm-hmm.
You see a pattern here?
Yep. Yep. So basically,
So
it's
it shouldn't be there shouldn't be a capital gains tax if it's currency, right?
yep.
Because you should be able to use legal tender, you know.
Yep. And let me acknowledge a few more people on the live YouTube stream real quick. Sojourner is saying hit the like button, so thank you very much for that. I always forget to ask. However, I didn't forget to hit the like button myself this time because I always forget to do that even on my own broadcasts. Resin Nunn is wanting an update on SB 38 in Missouri. So Senate Bill 38 is the Missouri Second Amendment Preservation Act. It has been pre-filed in Missouri, and we're going to fight for it. I'm going to be getting very much involved in that here in the next 2 weeks. And I am waiting for Ron Calzone right now. I'm going to talk to him about a couple of things, and I'm going to talk to my senator and my rep real quick before we get rolling. And hopefully we can have a lot more interaction with the senator and the representative through Zoom or Skype, and actually get weekly updates on that, on everything that's going on. And Resin, I'm sure you remember this from last year. The only reason we got shut down was a COVID. COVID shut us down, and the Missouri government shut down. We got nothing done. However, it was a slam dunk in 2020. We should have been able to get it done. And so at any rate, I'm hoping they won't shut down the government again because of a new, I'm doing air quotes right now, a new strain that's, so at any rate, so that is coming, and that is coming very, very soon. I promise you. And also, let's see, Manbear Pig says you must be able to use a VPN to get Monero if you really wanted it. That is one option that you can do for sure. Sojourner says, my wife's son was able to do it, but you buy Bitcoin and then transfer it basically to Monero and then store your Monero in a wallet. That is correct, Sojourner. That's exactly how you do it. Let's see. What are you spending your $600 on? Manbear Pig is asking. And we'll get to that in a second. And Sojourner says, I know Ron. It's been a long time, though. Sojourner, you're in Missouri, and we're going to be much, much more active this year, and we're hoping we can get people to join us up at the Capitol. We'll probably make 3 visits to the Capitol, and we're going to go live on YouTube every time we do, so we can actually talk to senators and representatives real time on YouTube, and everyone can talk to them. And okay, so I'm sorry for hogging up all the time here. We do have Craig with us. We have American Man. We have Conjecture. We have GFI. We have Mike from Maine, and we have Wanderer, and of course yours truly, Timmy Chonga. And then on our YouTube right now, it looks like we have Resin Nunn, Sojourner. We have Manbear Pig, and let's see. Of course, the Outsiders with us on YouTube as well. And Nevada Cario is with us. Basically, I just want to say hello to everybody and thank you very much for joining us on our live stream. And Happy New Year to everybody, by the way. Okay, gang, I'm done monopolizing. So if you guys, we'll talk to Craig here in a little bit. And if we're really, really nice to Craig, he might do a little bit of charting for us. And that would be pretty exciting if you guys want to see what Bitcoin looks like. It may may do in the next 2 weeks. What gold and silver may do in the next 2 weeks. Maybe we can twist Craig's arm and have him do some real-time live charting for us as well. And maybe we'll take a request or two. By the way, Craig, I did have a request. You know that phone call I took right before we went live? My brother is asking about rhodium. And so that's something that we don't talk about very often, but so at any rate, just kind of keep that one. Oh, Green-Eyed Flower is with us. Happy New Year to you, Green-Eyed Flower. And thank you for all the lovely comments you leave for us on the YouTube videos. Very much appreciated.
So what's up with rhodium? What is that, like $10,000?
16 is what he told me tonight. 16
Wow.
grand.
I gotta go check it out. Yeah.
So basically, is that a byproduct or is that an actual metal?
It's a metal.
That's what I thought.
It's an element. Yeah.
And let's see, we have Means Aptara joining us on YouTube as well. Peace to the channel and the chat. Thank you very much, Means. Thank you very much, and peace to you as well. Happy New Year. So, at any rate, Craig, if you're wanting to, we can go live basically to your screen, and basically we can share that with folks. If you're wanting to do some charting, or if you have anything interesting you want to show us from the charts. And actually,
Sure.
go ahead.
Which one do you want to do first, traditional or crypto?
I'll tell you what, the people on YouTube, would you guys like Craig to chart traditional stocks, gold and silver, actual markets like the S&P 500, or would you like him to chart cryptocurrencies first, individual cryptos? You guys let us know. It's New Year's Eve and Craig is feeling generous.
I have to switch platform to chart one or the other. So
Yep,
that's
yep,
why
I know that.
That's why we pick one. Yeah.
Yep.
For now.
Okay. So, let's see, Nevada Cario's still there. Good deal, man. I'm glad you're still here. Hey, you guys shout out if you want Craig to chart traditional, stock market, stocks, bonds, gold, silver, traditional stuff, or do you want him to chart crypto? If you guys want to see some charts. And by the way, he's an excellent chartist. If you guys were interested in any assets, basically, crypto first, Means is asking. Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm going to switch over to Craig's live view. It'll be seamless for you guys. And
Oh, well, no, hold on. That view is not right. That's like my video game. I've got
okay,
to switch
gotcha.
over.
Okay, no problem.
Looks like metals come in second.
Okay, we'll do traditional second. We'll do crypto first. This is an
Okay.
excellent opportunity for anyone watching live on YouTube right now. Craig is an excellent chartist, and basically, if you have any requests, Craig will actually chart them for you on the cryptocurrencies and then on the other side too. So we don't want to abuse him too much, though. We don't want to have him charting a million things for us tonight. But Bitcoin is an obvious one, I imagine.
I'm not a trader. I just kind of look at the macro outlook with the chart, and but yeah, just so you know, I don't give actionable trade advice.
Right, exactly. We are not giving financial advice. We're not financial consultants. Sorry, forgot to say that, Craig. Thank you.
But what I do is I try to pick lows to add to positions, and that's ultimately all I'm doing these days. All right, so I guess I could open this screen.
And then when Craig's charting, you guys may decide, basically what to do with your $600. Craig, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Coming into Craig's live stream right now, and you guys should be able to see it. This is Craig charting actually on his computer. We're funneling it through Discord into YouTube. So let us know that you see it okay. And Craig will explain.
We can see it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, GFI. If you guys have any questions, please type them in the chat. Craig is pretty specific, though, when he explains what he's doing. Okay, Craig, you have the floor, man. I see you have Bitcoin versus, or Bitcoin in US dollars right now.
Right. Yeah. So, this is my Bitcoin chart. I'm actually I'm looking at it on the monthly scale for the first time actually in a while.
Okay.
And I'm seeing a monthly 9.
Okay.
A monthly 9. Now the 9 is a topping indicator. So it's possible. We are near a top. This is called a TD sequential indicator, and red 9s are typically bottoms, and green 9s are typically tops. But that doesn't mean that they have to be, right? It just means that they can. If you could just ignore all these other lines, they're not meant for this time frame. But the monthly RSI is not at all-time highs.
Okay.
So you see that in 2017, it did manage to go higher.
Yep. And it looks like in 2013 and 2014 as well.
Right. Yeah. So, but here's the interesting thing: is when I look at the weekly. that RSI is very scary where it is.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, it's only been higher a few weeks in 2013 and in 2013. So these things, they can get overbought and stay overbought, and the price can keep running. So, but just understand, we are way up here.
Yep.
And that increases that means there's a very high risk of a major correction, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean we can't keep running up to 40,000, you know,
Yep.
before that happens.
So right now, basically what you're saying is technically Bitcoin is overbought, but that Bitcoin may not care that it's overbought. It may want to continue going up north, right?
Right. So when coming up with kind of I guess to come up with some targets, what we would need, because we're in because we've made new highs, we would need Fibonacci extensions, and I just got to find it actually. I haven't actually used this tool in a while, so I have to see how this works. No, that's not what I want to use.
And by the way, for all of you who are listening right now, cryptos are definitely in a bull market. There is no doubt. It is been confirmed, and confirmed again. However, there are cycles within a bull market that include pullbacks. So what Craig was basically saying, if Bitcoin has hit a top and it comes back down, that's what we call a correction. And from there, it goes higher yet again. It gets a new high, higher highs, higher lows. So that's what Craig is talking about if Bitcoin decides to come back down again.
So
Just so that people know,
Hey there,
a
Conjecture.
correction in a bull market is a crash, and a correction in a bear market is a rally.
right.
Yeah.
It's a counter trend move, and we're definitely in a bull market. Just made new highs. There's a lot of reasons for a bull market, but that's a foregone conclusion months ago at this point. So I'm looking at this target right here, the 30,500. Okay, that seems to me like a reasonable place to top out at. And then after, because that's the 1.618 Fibonacci extension from the previous bull market high to the bear market lows, gives us a Fibonacci extension of 30,000. So it would make sense if the price topped out here. This pattern on the daily is, I actually haven't seen one of these in a long time. This is called an ascending broadening wedge, and it is typically a bearish pattern. And maybe we stay in this thing till we get to that 30.5 up here. We could stay inside the wedge and get to 30.5 around here. 75% of the time, ascending broadening wedges do break down. But once it breaks to the downside, they only fall typically like 20% lower than this. So, you might only get to like 20,000, 20,000 if we get down to the bottom of this broadening wedge and we break down. Historically, Bitcoin has had 30 to 40% corrections in bull markets.
Mm-hmm.
So, falling from 30,000 to 20,000 would make sense, I think, because that would be about a third. That would be a third. That would fulfill the typical correction requirements.
Okay.
We go look at the previous bull market in 2017, 2016, and we take some measurements. We could see that from the peak to the low is 35%. From the peak here to low, 38, 40%, 35%, around there.
Yep.
So, as you can see, it doesn't stay that long.
And it doesn't stay low long, especially in the bull
Yeah.
markets. In fact, that
Well,
brings
you
up.
know,
Go ahead, conjecture.
what I was just going to say, if people wouldn't mind, is that in what you think of as crypto, you know, is just kind of a currency, right? And as it gains people's trust, it goes up in value. And if you chart crypto, it's on this, you know, massive upward trajectory. And all these times where you call them bear markets, they're not actually bear markets in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, they're
They are
actually
just
corrections.
big corrections.
Yeah.
They
in a
sure do
much
feel like a bear
larger
market.
bull market.
They're painful.
Yeah, it's just that they go down 90% in the last 2 or 3 years, but they're
Yeah.
actually correct in a secular, ongoing bull market.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends on your perspective, right? I mean, you know, we understand the long-term trajectory here, and we might call them a correction, a 90% correction, but not according to any official definition. That would be a correction by the mainstream and their traditional markets that they're used to, right?
Well,
yeah, a bear
yeah,
market
it's,
is anything below 20%. That's a bear market, and and here we could see that Bitcoin has that's how they define it, is a 20% decline. But here Bitcoin clearly had 35, 40% declines in a bull market. Okay, so within an ongoing bull market cycle, clearly. But yeah, no, I mean, it all depends, I guess, on the volatility of your asset and so on and so forth. But
Yep. So basically, another thing is when these things happen, we think of, you know, there's several things you can do. Now, hodling is actually a strategy, believe it or not. For those of you watching on YouTube right now, there's nothing wrong with holding Bitcoin. Now, we're interested in trading pairs here, but we don't consider Bitcoin a trading pair with anything. Some people who think that they know what they're doing will do trading pairs with the Tether. But I wouldn't recommend, if, like, for instance, Craig is sniffing that Bitcoin may be hitting a top here technically. And so what you may be thinking is, oh, should I take my Bitcoin, trade it into the Tether, or trade it into Monero while Bitcoin goes down and the alts go up? Well, that is a strategy, and it may work. But generally, we don't think of Bitcoin as a trade, any part of any trading pair. So, and I know that was kind of off the wall, Craig. I just wanted to cover that real quick because I figured that
right,
would end
and
up being
it all
a question.
depends what your strategy is. I mean, I'm doing all this charting, and I'm not trading any of this. I'm just buying. I'm waiting for the 40% correction so I can add more.
Yep.
And
You
know,
add on the
that's
dips.
what and I'm not selling, not ever. Okay, and I think that this chart, if we go back to the monthly scale chart here, I think this is like the most amazing chart I've ever seen. Right, this is a lot on a logarithmic scale.
Mhm.
It's clearly following this upward trend line,
Mhm.
and you know, we keep going up in this channel just like this. We could hit multiple millions of dollars eventually, I believe. So
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about you know, a correction from 30 grand to 20 grand. I'm here to wait till 2035. Okay. So oh yeah, so what I added here was the moving average, a 20 period moving average. You've probably seen this before. Lots of people use this as an indicator. The 20-week moving average has typically been the low. Some people use a 21-week moving average, been the low in market corrections in the previous bull market. So here's you know, correction here, 20-week moving average, correction here, 20-week moving average. That's this wavy line right here. I'll make it a different color so it's less confusing.
Well, yeah. No, go on.
Let's let the chat know that Jimmy D is here.
Oh, hey, Jimmy
Wishing
D.
everybody Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year to you too, Jimmy D. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Jimmy D is also in Missouri, like I am, and he's my partner in crime on doing the Missouri Second Amendment Preservation Act. And we'll talk more about that, like I said, in the next 2 weeks, gang. So don't worry about that. That is coming out soon. I promise you this. So, but welcome to Jimmy D and Happy New Year, sir.
And Green Eyed Flower touched on something that we talked about earlier about Max Kaiser's Bitcoin prediction for 2021.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Craig, can we talk about that real quick for a second?
Sure. But before we do that, I just wanted to point out, just let me finish the 20-week moving average. Yeah, here you can see that, typically it's, during a bull market, we remain above the 20-week moving average, through the 20-week moving average. And the 20-week moving average is currently at 16,000. If we continue climbing up at this rate, and we do that correctly, as I expect us to, we could meet it at 20,000
Okay.
for a 35% correction. And yeah, and also another bearish indicator, I think, is the crypto fear and greed index. It's really, really high.
Yep.
Extreme greed, 94, but I've never seen it sustained at these levels for this long before.
No.
It's been like this 15,000. So, but look at this chart. It clearly doesn't spend much time up here.
Yep.
On average. So, anyway, you were gonna say.
Well, I mean, if you need time to set up a chart, I do have some stuff I want to say about crypto.
Okay. No problem.
No, I mean, it's something that, okay, well, I suppose I can say it. Is that when we talk about crypto, we could talk about, what gives crypto value. What gives it value is like a 5-minute conversation. Something if you need time to set up a chart, I could go over.
Yep.
I want to touch on Max Kaiser real quick.
Yeah, let's.
If you guys want to talk about, that's what you're going to tell us about Max Kaiser and his prediction.
Well, Max Kaiser, by the way, the caveat before we get into his predictions, which I think I heard, but I'm not 100% sure what he said for 2021. Is Max Kaiser is one of those eccentric billionaires, and Max Kaiser is someone who may or may not have been involved in the construction of the blockchain. It's been rumored that he has. He wears strange glasses like Elton John. He wears strange shirts. He's got a funny voice. But I will tell you something about Max Kaiser. He has been very accurate on Bitcoin. So with that being said, Green Eyed Flower is, if you heard what his 2021 prediction is, because the last thing I heard from him was he was about ready to announce it. And that was on Stansberry Research. So,
is he
go ahead.
He's a billionaire?
Max Kaiser's a billionaire, yes.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah.
Multiple billions?
All I know is billionaire. That's all I know.
Interesting. I didn't realize he was that wealthy.
Yep. Very, very wealthy. So at any rate, if anyone knows what his 2021, by the way, his 2020 prediction, believe it or not, was 30,000.
Yeah. Huh.
Honest to God, he made that at the beginning of 2020. He and look at where Bitcoin is right now. Look on the Craig's chart if you could see it, 29,249. He was off by, literally 700, 750 bucks.
He was wrong. You got it wrong.
Yeah.
So what's the 2021 prediction?
I don't know. Let me switch back over.
All right. So here's what I think. It's going to be somewhere between 100 and 600,000, and I think it's. I think that it might be 450.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying I agree with him. I think that if we hit 200,000 next year, that's going to be it.
Okay. Green Eyed Flower is saying she was curious to hear Max Kaiser's prediction. And 28,000 was the prediction for 2020. You're probably right on that, Green Eyed Flower. I seem to remember, just what's locked into my head was 30. So it's probably a round number thing. It was rounding up. Let's see. Sojourner says basically Douglas County. Okay, Sojourner. And I hope that we can meet you up at Jefferson City as we all get together for SBA again, the Second Amendment Preservation Act. And also, Green-Eyed Flower said, haven't yet. Just saw the interview. Used to watch him on RT, and even Alex Jones, says Sojourner. And yes, all of us here are very familiar with Max Kaiser. You bet you we are. He's a silver guy, plus he's a Bitcoin guy, and that's most of us too. So we like him a lot, and we think he's a good guy. I just like to tell people in advance if they go searching for him, he's a little eccentric, but don't let that put you off from him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he really is.
The last interview I saw with him, he was wearing the purple sunglasses, or purple rose-colored maybe, or something like that. You know, kind of like Elton John, kind of big, oversized. You know, but okay, all right. Well, we got Bitcoin covered, and basically the from Craig, what we're hearing at this point is that Bitcoin may be at a top, but at the same time, Bitcoin may be going up further before it takes its correction. However, as we know, looking at Craig's chart right now, nothing goes up forever like this. There's going to be a correction. We are in a secular bull market. There are corrections. There are cycles.
Well, actually,
Go ahead.
technically speaking, something can go up forever with enough money printing.
Yeah, with enough money printing, that's true. Like the U.S. bond market,
And,
it's been in a bull market for 40 years.
Yeah, technically speaking, with enough money printing, they can push those bonds to infinitely negative, which means that they'll go from, you know what I mean? Basically, you can take a bond and make it worth so much, but no one can ever afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it can technically approach infinity.
Yep.
As with anything in a hyperinflation.
Okay.
Suppose it go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, we covered Bitcoin, and I have a request for Craig because I haven't seen anything else in the chat. If we could take a quick look at Monero, would you be willing to look at that for us real quick?
Yeah. So all coins have quite a different chart pattern. I don't think you're going to be happy. But before we do that, want to go look at the dominance chart.
Okay, Bitcoin dominance.
So this dominance pattern is playing out exactly as I thought. I think I posted this in November.
You did.
Right. And so far, everything is playing out exactly the way I thought with this wave 5 move right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. See how look, it's almost actually following the line I even drew.
Yep.
Because perfectly. Yeah. So I believe that this is a 5-wave move higher in dominance. And as you know, dominance can climb as Bitcoin's going up, like it is right now. Dominance can continue to climb as Bitcoin goes down.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
And so I think we see this dominance continue to climb, hitting a 5-wave target up here somewhere, between 80 and 90%. Dominance for Bitcoin, or 75 to 85, around there somewhere. But yeah, clearly we're closer to the beginning of a wave 5 move than the end of one. So there's still a long way to go on this wave 5 move. So so keep that in mind. That I believe we're looking at we're in a period of rising Bitcoin dominance. And yes, so this has been a very nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave Elliott wave count higher with an ABC correction. And on the break of this downtrend line, this was a pullback to that trend line. Mm-hmm. But it held it, and then found support, and now we're catapulting higher. So I do believe we are in a wave 5 move here, and that we're going to continue. So So now if I go to, say, Monero, I'm looking at an ascending narrowing wedge.
Uh-oh.
And that's bearish. So
That's bearish.
Yes, it is.
yeah, I mean, it's not long-term bearish, but it's it would precede a correction, you would think.
In other words, there's a 70% chance of it correcting down from the ascending wedge. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know what the figures are for the ascending wedge, but yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
It might be 2/3 of the time. It could break up. It could break up, and it could become an ascending broadening wedge,
Yep.
which is what happened with Bitcoin.
Yep.
Right? Bitcoin looked like this before it had that crazy run up, and then I had to widen this out, and then my narrowing wedge became an ascending wedge. You know,
Well, you know the.
So I do think that this breaks down. Yeah, let me get some of the indicators up here to see if we can't make some sense of this. Let's see, I don't see any divergence on the weekly. What about the daily? Yeah, see, look at the daily. Look at the daily. 3 lower highs on the daily RSI and 3 higher highs in price.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe markets move in waves of 3. And it's unlikely you see a 4th. So, you know, I bet you this thing breaks down soon. If Bitcoin tops out soon, it would all make sense that everything goes down, the altcoins go down more, and dominance continues to climb, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. That's kind of what I'm expecting.
Okay, gotcha.
And,
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if you could do a different kind of chart, if that'd be okay. Or I'm not sure if you can do it, but it'd be kind of fun if you could.
I just want to say that Iron Man Metal is here at TC.
Farron Man Metal?
Iron Man Metal.
Oh, Iron Man Metal. Hey, Iron Man. Welcome and Happy New Year.
Titanium alloy.
He's from Philadelphia.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
So, yeah, I was hoping if I could get a chart, selfishly, out of Chaos Craig.
what chart?
Can you do like a crypto, market cap chart?
Yeah.
I've had him do those before. Do you have one saved that you can add to, Craig?
No, I gotta
Okay.
find it.
Okay.
Do you know the name of the total market cap?
If
Gosh.
it's too much of a hassle, never mind.
Yeah.
Total. No, I think it's called total. Total crypto market cap calculated by Trade. Yeah, I think this is it.
Yeah, the total market cap is near its all-time high, gang. Very near.
Yeah, well, it looks a lot like Bitcoin. Actually, yeah, it's at its all-time high. What was that? 800 billion.
Something like that, yes. Right around 800.
Let me see if I can't get a bigger history. Let me go to a weekly.
Well, I suppose that makes sense. Bitcoin kind of, Bitcoin's such a large part of the market.
Yep.
That,
But yeah, you could see Bitcoin is outperformed because Bitcoin's at new highs. This is at old highs.
Yep.
Right. So I'm looking at a sequential 4 on the weekly. What is it on the daily? Daily, we're at a sequential 8. Looking at the RSI. Okay, yeah. So see, let's look at this. Just like in the altcoin, we have just like in Monero, we have these 3 pulses here, right? 1, 2, 3, and 3 lower highs in the RSI. So what I could see this chart doing is, let me get the freeform brush. Cup, handle, and then break out. And that's the theory.
Gotcha. So we're pretty much at the point where we need to start forming the handle. So there may
Right.
be a pullback in the market cap And
Right, because that would also fit the picture that I'm drawing between the Bitcoin chart and the dominance chart, right?
Yep.
And the altcoins together. You put it all together, and then that's kind of how it looks like this will be playing out from my perspective right now.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but this is what I think is the most likely scenario moving forward.
Okay. Yeah, that is surprisingly like Bitcoin too. But it's such a large part of the market cap, as Conjecture said, it just makes sense.
Yeah, the only reason I was wondering if the whole market cap thing kind of made a different kind of trend, because you know when Bitcoin, I suppose when Bitcoin crashes, the altcoins crash harder.
Right. All the charts actually are correlated highly, and some are more correlated than others, and I'd say there's a very high correlation between the Bitcoin chart and the total market cap chart. Now we go to Monero. Again, I'd say that.
But is it like kind of correlated? Like, is the total market cap kind of correlated like silver miners to the price of silver, where silver goes up? For every $2 silver goes up, the miners go up $1. Or no, for every $1 silver goes up, the miners go up $2. But for every $1 silver goes down, they go down $3.
Right. So the altcoins are underperforming, and they are. Doesn't mean they might not outperform later. I believe that they if they outperform, it would be towards the end of the whole market cycle and not the beginning. Because the generals lead the charge over the wall of worry, right? And the soldiers don't come till later. I think it's just like what we're seeing with gold and silver, right? Gold's entering a new bull market, silver is lagging behind. Silver is still 50% off its highs. Gold's pretty much at new highs, so it's lagging behind, but then it moves further and faster later in the market cycle. So yeah, here's we're looking at Monero, XMR, and also what's really interesting here is this. This kind of looks a lot like the descending triangle at the top of the silver market in 2011, doesn't it, Timmy?
Yes, it does.
Right. So so I'm looking at this as being actually perfect kind of potential resistance level. The bottom of that descending triangle.
Okay.
This triangle. So it would make sense for it to top out there. So I don't make trades. I'm navigating my way through this to find bottoms to add. And
to add to your positions, correct.
Right now I'm seeing a top, and I'm waiting for the chart to look like it's a bottom, because right now it looks like a top.
Yep.
And I'm still buying even here, just not that much.
Yep.
Like $25 a day.
Yep. Understood. Okay. All right. So that covers Monero, and we got Bitcoin. Let me go back and see if we have any other requests.
We got to get the metals.
Yep. Oh, no. I'm talking about in the crypto, because he needs to switch over.
Okay.
So
let's see.
Ethereum?
Okay. Yeah, let's take a quick look at Ethereum.
So
and then maybe Theta. That's reaching new highs.
Yeah. So Ethereum is kind of looking similar to Monero, right? Where this is in this ascending narrowing wedge. We've got the bearish RSI divergence here, right? Lower highs in RSI, but then higher highs in price. So, it's painting the same picture. And when you put it in context with everything else, then what's our thesis? Our thesis is that Bitcoin dominance continues to rise as Bitcoin price tops and falls, and altcoins fall even more.
Right. Yep. So yeah, I was kind of hoping you'd find me a trading pair by accident with Monero. I guess not.
Litecoin is getting closer.
Yep. Yeah, Monero and Litecoin used to be our trading pair. If you remember back in the old days, gang.
But the price is getting closer and closer together now.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That XRP is looking pretty low on there.
Oh, this is Ripple, by the way, for anyone who is wondering what XRP is.
This was looking like an awesome breakout over here. Right?
Yep.
But back here, I was saying, wow, we're in the ascending triangle. We're going to break out. But then the SEC news came out, and bam.
Yep.
Crash, reversing all those gains. So now Ripple's in real trouble here. It's kind of fighting for its life. Look at this giant volume spike here of massive sell news of the SEC. And so I don't know what's going to happen here. The chart is, I don't know. If it falls below 17 cents, I think it's over for Ripple.
Okay.
Look how long it spent at 30 cents. Right, 30 cents was resistance for like almost all of 2017. It was support for years and years and years. It was resistance for years and years and years. And then we finally, what I thought, decisively broke out and up and over it. And I'm like, oh, that's it. 30 cents is over. We're never going to see 30 cents again. Right? We finally made up our mind. Right?
Yep.
And then the SEC news comes out and bam, we fall right through that level. Not without a lot of volatility. And but what's kind of interesting is I think the news for Ripple is fundamentally very bearish. But at the same time, I do see a positive development in the chart. And that would be, I guess, this sort of a bullish RSI divergence. We've got a higher low in the RSI. This is on the daily chart. A slightly higher low. That could reverse if the price falls. But we have a higher low, and at the same time in the price you have a lower low in the price. So it's a bullish RSI divergence. I mean, it's.
So Ripple looks like it's on life support right now.
Right. And basically, Alessio Rastani, I don't know if anyone watches his YouTube video, he's a real Elliott Wave guy. And he said that basically 30, I think it was 17 cents would violate a, what was it, the 78% retracement level on the Fibonacci. Let's see, let me go back to that. Fib retracement. So let's go to this low. See if we can't reproduce it. 78.6 is what it is. Sorry. Or maybe he was going from like this low or something. Or maybe this is in the log scale. I'm just trying to recreate what he had.
And we've got another request for theta from Lisa Maria.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, see, look at on the logarithmic, using the logarithmic fib retracement tool, you see that the 786 is the 17 cent level. And basically what Alessio was saying, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within a major wave 1, right?
Yep.
And he was saying this was an A, B, C or something like that. And within a major wave 2. And that in order for this to still be a wave 2, we can't fall below the 78.6 fib retracement level here. Because then it would violate like the Elliott wave count rules. So,
Okay.
all right, theta. I've looked at theta, and so I actually don't even know what to when I get to it. But yeah, I'll find a theta chart.
And welcome to everyone who's watching us live on YouTube. Also, I'd like to say hello to Joe, who just joined us in the welcome room chat. And I'm very glad you guys are with us. For those of you who watch, my somewhat dry and boring podcast from time to time, I keep talking about the Discord group that I'm in. And that's where we're at right now. And you hear GFI speaking, Chaos Craig, Conjecture, and some others. Basically, it's real. I am actually part of a Discord group. And that's where I get a lot of the information that I bring to the podcasts that we do with Truth, Money, and Freedom on YouTube. Also, we're on BitChute and Library. Don't forget about that. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Craig. You got the floor.
Yeah, no, I'm pulling up a theta chart, but this chart doesn't go that far back. It only goes back to April of 2019.
Isn't that when it came out, though?
I don't know. You tell me. I thought I could have remember. I thought theta was like 11 cents at one point. So it was 70 cents. 0.07. Oh, that's 7 cents. Okay, yeah, all right. It could be when it came out. Sure. I mean, yeah, the chart has so little history that it's hard for me to say anything about it. But I do see, a very powerful uptrend. This thing has ran from 4 cents to $2.
Mm-hmm.
This since March. That's pretty good. What is that, like a 40x gain?
Something like that, yeah.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Damn, I wish I held on to my data.
That RSI looks high as well. Is it possible this is overbought?
I'm thinking about it. I'm just looking at this for the first time now.
Gotcha. Hang on, Lisa Marie. We're looking at it.
I should tell you that Tribulation Prepper is here too.
Hey, Trib. Welcome, man.
Yeah, the RSI is really high, but there's no divergence. Well, actually, there is a little bit. Maybe on the shorter time frame. Let's see, 4 hours. Yeah. See, look at this. See, we have this high, but then we have a lower high, and a low. So it's divergent on the 4 hour, but we don't have a divergence on the daily. Let's see what it looks like on the weekly. Oh my God! Yeah. See, there's nothing to compare it to back here because it wasn't around back then. But yeah, I mean, it's up there. I mean, I don't want to tell you to get out, but there's no telling how high this thing can go. But I mean, yeah, it looks toppy to me.
Okay.
But see how this wedge that I have drawn, how I have it drawn, is still pretty wide.
Yep.
Looks like we could probably, spend a lot longer inside of it before breaking down and out.
Okay.
Like maybe while the market's pulling back, this thing does something like let me get the arrow. Something like this, maybe. That'd be a big correction down to $1. It's still inside that channel.
Yep. That is a big channel. You're right.
Maybe this thing will fall 50%, still stay in this channel, and still be bullish and continue higher.
Yep.
Onto $3. That's one powerful looking move.
Yep. That looks like one to hang on to for sure. Like Bitcoin. You just buy it and hold.
It's like a high performer, it looks like it's acting well relative to a lot of other coins, and let your winners run. It could be a winner.
Yep.
I remember Symmetry recommended Theta.
Yeah.
So there could be something to this Theta thing. Maybe I need to do more homework.
Yeah, I need to do some more homework too. I know that JSNP4 and Bix Weir are recommending Theta. I inherently don't trust either of them for lots of different reasons, but they have been recommending Theta for a long time. And I know they were recommending it when it was like pennies. And it's gone up to $2. So this one they were right on.
Damn it.
It's Veritasium is the one they were pushing so hard that ended up going to nothing.
That's what I was telling. That's what I said you were talking about. With the one with Reggie Middleton, remember?
Yeah, Reggie Middleton. Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, so Lisa Marie, this looks like crypto that you buy and hold. You never let it go, kind of like Bitcoin. That's what it's actually.
I don't know enough about the coin to say that, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's pretty good to hold right now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on a pullback to $1. I don't know if I'd be adding here.
Yeah.
I think that if it pulls back to $1, that would be a good place to buy.
Wonder if that's available on American exchanges.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never went looking for it. Okay. All right, so there's Theta.
And we have Binance, Dubai Global, Bithumb, OKEX, and Digifinex.
Wow, a bunch of ones I've never heard of. I've heard of Binance Coin.
Those are all exchanges, no?
Oh,
Right.
Oh, okay. Those are places you can buy Theta, is what they're saying.
Buy Theta.
Okay. Okay. Before we switch over to gold and silver charting, does anyone have any final requests on cryptocurrencies? Let's see. Theta. And we covered Theta. So, all right, that's about it. Let's go ahead and switch on over, Craig.
All right, I gotta figure out how to do that. Oh, actually, I guess if I could just share the screen, then. So do you see this?
Hang on. I'm coming back to you, Craig. Yeah, I see symbol search, Binance, the US dollar.
Okay, so no, you don't see it then. So you're not actually seeing that screen. You're seeing the browser underneath this panel. I gotta actually go into the Discord settings and
Okay, gotcha.
game activity. Yeah, how do I enable a different app under game activity in Discord?
Oh, geez, been a while since I did that. I'd have to look at
Right,
mine here real quick to figure it out.
Yeah, well, I had this problem last time. I can't. I don't know how to
Game
remove the
activity.
existing.
Let's see, what was it? Notifications, text, streamer mode, authorized apps, maybe? No, that's not it. Gosh darn it, it's been a long time, man.
Yeah, see, it's on the list under added games. I just don't know how to make it the current one to display.
Yeah, game and activity. Click on okay, you've already got it added then, right?
Yeah, it's added. I just don't know how to move it into.
That I don't know. Screen, share your screen. Click on that again for us. And
Didn't work.
It didn't work. Okay.
I tried that already.
Okay. Gotcha. I don't know, buddy. Not without doing a whole bunch of looking. Is that program that you're trying to share, is it up and running? If it's not up and running, it won't be in your list.
It's up and running.
Okay. Sorry, gang.
Oh,
Technical glitch.
wait a second. If I just remove whatever is currently up there. Okay, there we go. All right. I guess I have to do it this way. All right, so now I'm going to stop streaming and then start streaming again. All right, now.
And by the way, Jimmy D went out for a smoke. He said he'll be right back. Man Bear Pig said, mods are gone. Party time. That's right. There's no more mods in our, in our live stream. Jimmy D was it. So yeah, smoke them if you got them. We could turn this into a drinking game. Anytime someone says Bitcoin, everyone has to, take a shot of something. Yeah.
You still smoking the Cheyenne?
I am.
All right, so what do you want to do? Gold?
Yeah, let's do gold, and then silver, and then we'll hit anything else. I'd actually like to look at the S&P as well, if you don't mind.
Well, I think gold's awesome. I mean, look at this. We got the fanning out of all the moving averages, just like in 2002, which is what we've been waiting for like 5 fucking years in here, and it finally happened.
Yep.
So I think it looks amazing, and we did call out on Cyber Monday a bottom. The price dipped below the 200-day moving average. That's this purple line. And yeah, and we piled in, and now we're, I have this pattern drawn right now, and it looks like we could be breaking it.
Yep. Right
here, right now, it's in a really precarious spot. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this thing just have a major move up, in and out of here. Of course, it could remain in this channel, and it could pull back again. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. Let me see if I can find any other clues in the chart. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. I did have this drawn for a reason, because I was expecting it to come all the way down to this region. But you know what? If you look at the previous bull market, right, from 2002 to 2011, and look at this, you could see that we never really done this on the RSI.
Yep.
Let me actually make a different drawing. Let me delete this line. Yeah, so see in a bull market, the RSI tends to trend in the upper half. Whereas in the bear market, it tends to trend in the lower half. So if I make a drawing that just kind of shows the vast majority of the range of the bull market, neglecting outliers, lows and highs, and we put it right here, we could see that we pretty much hit it. We hit the bottom of that box, right? So like during the last bull market, the RSI hit the bottom of the box several times, right? Here,
I see that.
Here, here it overshot it a little bit, and then it tapped it here, and overshot it here. That was 2008. That was an outlier event. But so I feel like we've met the minimum, I guess, the low side requirement. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this idea, because I really don't think this thing has further fall. I do think that we were right on Black Cyber Monday, picking the low. RSI is still a bull cross on the weekly. So I'm moving the circle. I drew the circle when we were over here, right? We met my circle target. I'm moving the target, okay? And I'm saying we're going up here somewhere with this oscillator.
Gotcha.
And obviously, we're adjusting this target as we approach that target. So I do believe we're in an upswing. So I do think we break out of this this pattern, this pendant flag, a bull flag, maybe you could call it. This could be, you could also say this is the handle of a cut. And this is 2011. This is, current day, and this cut is 10 years, and you could say this is the handle.
Yep, I see that,
It's
and I was about to point that out.
a high handle. It's a tight handle. The handle is over the rim of the bowl,
Hmm.
and that means that it's a very strong trend.
Hmm.
Because a weaker trend, the handle might form below the rim of the bowl,
Hmm.
which is what I think you'll see happen in silver. Right?
Yep. Well,
Um,
silver has a similar bowl, but it's a longer time period.
Right. Well, that's a different story altogether.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
basically, if you were to, and once again, we're not financial consultants. Everyone listening in right now, Truth, Money, and Freedom, we are not financial consultants here. But what was fun, is when I used to put in price predictions, and I've been wrong before. I'm not a 600 silver guy. That is not me, at least not at this time. But I'll tell you what, I'll make a price prediction for the end of the year of gold, and I think it's going to be between $2,600 and $3,000 by next year. And I want to say there's a caveat to that. It could be significantly higher. It's possible, but
I
that's
think
my. Go ahead.
reasonable. I think that's very reasonable. Upper 2000s
Yep.
by the end of next year.
Yep. So, but, and then we'll do the same thing for silver. We'll make a prediction. Once again, realizing we're not financial consultants. We're just making year-end predictions for year-end next year.
So I have seen Elliott wave chartists point out this Elliott wave pattern.
Mhm.
You're able to see my cursor when I wave it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is wave one, the 1980 bull market, right? Where it hit $800. Wave two was the bear market that started in 1980 and ended in early 2000, right?
Yep.
That's wave two. Wave three was 2000 to 2011.
Hmm.
Wave four is 2011 to 2015, and wave five is 2015 to wherever it is we're going.
Yep.
And they do say that for commodities in only, the wave five is the biggest wave.
Yep.
Could be the biggest wave, whereas normally it's wave three that's the biggest wave in most markets. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I think we're breaking out. I think we're going higher as soon as next week, and I think we're just gonna retest the hold highs and continue higher. I think we're in a major move higher. Like we're on the next leg higher, and that's really what I think.
Okay.
So silver, this is the 30-year cup.
Yep.
And handle. Really, you can't really look at it on a linear scale. I got to change this to a logarithmic scale. And the pattern looks a lot better here.
Yes, it does.
So here's the cut.
Yep.
And the handle.
Yep.
And
I see that.
This handle being below the rim of the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So we're 10 years into this handle, and we have a really bullish looking pattern. See how back here in 2000, in the early 2000s, we flipped to a bull market. This is a monthly chart. The price was above all the monthly moving averages here. All the monthly moving averages got clustered here. The price moved from below all the moving averages to above the moving averages. And then we have the fanning out of my rainbow moving average band, right?
Yep.
So here we are again. For the first time in 10 years, we have the price above all the moving averages. So, what I'm thinking? I'm thinking this is what happens next. We fan out like this rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what happened in gold in 2000, right, on the daily chart, but this is a monthly chart. So,
Yep.
So we have all the other confirmations, obviously. You put that together with the Fed reversing course, cutting rates back to zero, going back to QE4, debts and deficits exploding forever, and gold is breaking out of a pattern that it's been forming for like decades. So silver's going to follow.
Mhm. Yep.
You don't have to even think about it twice. But yeah, I do think we bottomed out. Cyber Monday. I'm getting rid of all this. I no longer think this is what's going to happen. And yeah, silver has broken out of this kind of
Yep.
flag already.
That's one hell of a handle, really.
On the 30-year chart,
Yeah.
the 50-year chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how big that handle is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
we could
wide
be
cup though too, but
the cup is 30 years big, and
Yep.
the handle is we're 10 years, 11 years into the handle.
yeah, 9, 10 years. Yeah. Oh yeah. Since we're
And-
going into 2021, it's 10-year handle.
Right. So 2021 is going to be 10 years. So I guess we have to the end of 2021, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
10 years. And yeah, so it's possible we're still in the handle at year 11.
It's possible.
And silver's not breaking out to new highs until 2022, 2023.
Yep. And I'll
Yeah.
make a price prediction for all of the folks listening in. Once again, we're not financial advisors. But I'm going to make a price prediction for the end of year of 2021 of silver being between $36 and $45. And it could be significantly higher, but my price prediction is between those numbers.
I think that's reasonable. I'm looking at this descending triangle from silver in 2011, 2012. There was a lot of resistance here at the $27 area. I do think we're in a move higher across all the metals. So I guess I could see us trading in that range, sure.
Yep. And by the way, I want to say one more thing with everyone listening in on YouTube. First of all, again, thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. We're nearly done with the charting evening, and we'll move into topics like the beer flu and things of that nature. But I do want to say, in April of 2019, I put out a call on the Truth, Money, and Freedom YouTube channel, which Jimmy D is very familiar with, and many of you others are, because I was calling a bottom. But I did give Chaos Craig credit. He is the one who identified the bottom for silver in this part of the secular bull run. And he was 100% correct on that. He was off by 30 cents for calling a low literally in a 5-year cycle. That was just amazing. A lot of people purchased silver based on that information that I conveyed on the YouTube channel, but that information actually came from Chaos Craig right here in our chat.
Yeah, I remember we were right here.
Yep.
In this wedge that lasted like so long.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember saying, well, we had a lot of other things going on at that time. The Fed had finally capitulated on its tightening cycle, and it had reversed course, begun easing. Gold had already broken out.
Yep.
And it was just a matter of time before silver followed. So it was amazing that silver was still $15 and $14. Like, it's like, what? Like our whole investment thesis is coming together exactly the way Peter Schiff said it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And gold's breaking out and the writing's on the wall, and silver's still $15.
Yep.
Right. And, so you couple that with the fact that we were at the, end of this wedge pattern. So you knew we were probably going to go up.
Yep. But
and we did. We went up. We had a good run to like $19, and then the Corona crisis crashed.
Right. And well, that was so fake. That was a paper crash. That certainly didn't happen in the physical markets.
Yeah, like we couldn't actually go out and buy silver for $11.
Nope.
So we couldn't get it for $15.
Nope.
We were still paying $8, like basically.
Yeah, like 16, 17 bucks.
Yeah, it's like the crash didn't even happen.
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy D wants to get a chart on that 9mm ammo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That one we can't chart. We're not set up for that one tonight. That's an excellent request, though.
If you can get me a ticker, if you could send me a chart of the price history, I'll look at it. I bet you it's going up.
It is. If you can find it, it's gone up. But I want to say congratulations to anyone who bought silver in the lows of literally like April of 2019, where Craig called that low because we were picking up silver for literally $15.15 or 50 cents. And that was a good buy. You hang on to it, and you heard my price prediction for the end of next year. You will more than have doubled your money, like in 2 years. And, so actually everyone who gets gold and silver usually ends up doing very, very well. It's
we were
a
in
long.
this area here.
Yep,
where I
that's
was
correct.
bound to take the
Yep,
whole time we were in there,
yep.
basically.
So,
And it was over. It wasn't just April, it was the months around it, and
yeah,
but yeah,
It-
I saw that we were getting close to the end here at that point, and then
Yep.
it was like, all right,
yep.
I
But
think that's it.
I'd like to say again, when you see that circle Craig has drawn there, and you go to the right of it, and you see that huge dip, that was the Corona dip for silver. It was a paper dip, and you absolutely could not pick up silver for that price. It was in the $17, $17.50 range. That's the lowest you could get it for physically. So Craig correctly
Yeah.
called that low.
I'm kind of like, for instance, see how when I go to the monthly chart, that Corona crash is just a wick. That's
Yep.
almost just kind of like an outlier. I'm just ignoring in my TA.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm not changing any of my trend lines around it, and
Yep.
I'm just kind of.
And incidentally, I'd like to throw out one more concept for everybody having to do with your investments. In the case of gold and silver, it's not an investment, it's insurance, really. But if things get worse with the beer flu, and the United States decides the Treasury is going to print up, $10 trillion this year, my price predictions are no longer valid. Everything's going to go significantly higher. So,
I disagree. I think that markets will move at a metered pace within reason, only going parabolic, given sufficient time to accelerate to a parabolic state, and that the printing can go on before the nonlinear crowd psychology catches up.
Yeah, well,
That's right.
Yeah, we printed $10 trillion in 4 years. It is
Right.
theoretically possible gang, that we could do $5 to $10 trillion of printing in 2021. It's exponential now. This is,
Right.
what Mike Maloney predicted is actually happening before our eyes. For those of you who are not
Endgame
familiar,
stuff.
go ahead, Craig.
Endgame stuff. Oh yeah, endgame stuff. So we
Yep.
have a 25% of GDP deficit this year.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have 50% next year.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's going up exponentially, but I'm just saying that the market might not respond as quickly as you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
That because the market has a recency bias and a normalcy bias, and prices don't change quickly. Things work up to a parabolic state. In a hyperinflation, it doesn't just start just like that. It works up to it, and there's usually some sort of you accelerate more and more over time, and you get up to a higher and higher price and a higher and higher speed, and then prices rise at a faster speed. I don't think it's something that's going to happen without us having warnings in the chart, and based on what I see in the chart now, we're having like a normal rise in price without anything unprecedented happening just yet.
Yep, understood. I got you.
And yeah, I think they could continue to print at an accelerated exponential rate. I just think that from a technical charting standpoint, that I believe that the predictive analytics of all that is already factored into the chart.
Okay.
In some way.
Yep, and also keep in mind, gang, that the way the free market, what's left of it, deals with this is premiums. We saw this during the beer flu, where premiums for Silver Eagles went up to literally $11, $12 over spot. This is happening again right now. Look at Silver Eagles. You know, it's your favorite dealer. They're like $10 over spot for Silver Eagles. Now, bullion is about $3 over spot right now. So that's the way. So yeah, the paper says it's 26.50 right now, but for real, going into your local dealer, you're going to pay 29.50 for that ounce of silver. So always keep that in mind as well. So that's the way the market deals with the fact when the paper goes too low.
That's another thing. Is in April 2019, you know, there was like 50-cent premiums, $1.
Yep. Yep, that's correct. Yep. Yeah, we were getting 49-cent premiums all day long, you know, back then. You know, those were the good old days. And I'm not
and
sure.
It's like everything changed suddenly
Yep.
with the virus.
Correct.
It was sudden, and you know, and the premiums never came down to what they were before the crisis. And the premiums had gone to sleep and had, you know, we've been in the doldrums for so many years, and and the premiums were there for us for years and years, very low, and now and the crisis comes and those premiums go up suddenly.
Yep. So, you know, basically point taken on that. But the premiums may accelerate again this year, is another way of saying the physical price of silver may go up a lot. And that's the way the market deals with the supply problem. There's no supply problem with the paper market. They can always make more paper silver to feed that supply if there's enough demand. But in the physical market, it doesn't work that way, gang. So, so at any rate, premiums may rise, and you know, with the beer flu and with them suppressing the price of gold and silver, we have anticipated this in our chat for years. There's a possibility at some point the premium for silver may be $50 above the paper price. It would break the market, but it may have to happen that way. So it's not something we anticipate in 2021, but it is a possibility.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, the price diverged, but you know, look, the paper price caught up.
Yep, but if there's not enough supply, investment supply,
and lagging behind, but it still remained correlated to a degree.
Yep. Well, it all depends on whether or not the supply is there. We're talking physical supply. You know, for those of us going to our coin dealers during the beer flu, there was not so much supply with stores that were reasonable with their prices. They had to raise their prices to keep supply in. In other words, they had to pay more for it to get it in. Therefore, they had to sell it for more. So that's another dynamic too. But I'll tell you what, Craig, I'm going to make one more request of you on the charting here. First of all, let me check our live chat. I'm sorry, gang, if we've gotten a little bit technical and a little bit boring. Still here. Hey, it's Paul. Hey, how's it going? That's Paul from the Talk Junkies. And Happy New Year to you as well, sir. So, yeah, we're just doing a live stream here on the financial side of things. And we're happy to have all of us with us. And I thought that what we'd go ahead and do is just hit the S&P 500 and actually see what that looks like on the charts. If you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. And let's see if we're hitting a high or a top in the stock market. The S&P is. Go ahead.
See. So yeah. So I mean, I actually haven't looked at this lately, so I don't know.
Okay.
I remember picking a macro, a high back here. This is before the election, in April and August. And, I had this as the target. And as you can see, I had this line drawn here. I had this circle drawn here for the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And, we did hit the target. Right? That's all in the past now. And we hit the target and it's over. So I'm getting rid of all this stuff.
And we're at an all-time high in all three indices. I don't look at the Russell often enough, but everything's at pretty much an all-time high. The NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P. However, an interesting thing has cropped up. We've all been expecting a crash because nothing just keeps going up forever. And that's technically what it's been doing in the stock markets. Yes, we did have a massive correction during the beer flu. However, that correction was easily overcome. So we did not have a correction like, let's just say 2008, where it took 6 years to recover the stock market. We had
they started printing fast this time.
That's correct.
Exactly what they needed to do. They reversed. They cut everything right away. They printed a shit ton of money all at once, really fast.
Yep.
And they reversed the crash that happened really fast. And I was obviously, being a perma bear, I was thinking this, right? But that's not what happened, right?
Right. Yep.
We had a little 10% correction instead. This thing just keeps elevating higher and higher. It could be a crack up boom. It could just keep going higher. Who knows?
Yep.
But I do see something bearish. And that would be this RSI divergence here.
Okay.
We've got a high. That's the high back in 2000. Wow. That's the high from 2017. The beginning of 2018.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, 115. That's the beginning of 2018 to a high that happened before the coronavirus crash. See how that was divergent?
Yep.
Yeah,
I do.
high and lower high. And now we have a new higher high. And it's still lower than this.
Yep.
So, but it hasn't hit this trend line yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see it continue to climb higher until it hits the trend line.
Okay.
And I have a bearish bias because of my perma bear.
Yep.
So I look at it, I see the divergence, and then I'm thinking, it'll crash after that happens. But we've been wrong for 10 years here, so I don't know what to make of this chart anymore.
Yep. Well, when the Federal Reserve can print, currency ad nauseum, there's no, and by the way, they put it directly in the markets through the U.S. Treasury and the big banks. Yep. So they're propping it up and propping it up.
Yep, and they went and started buying mortgage securities, and they went and started buying corporate bonds, junk bonds, muni bonds. I don't know. You can't fight them. That's why I don't care about the S&P 500, because I think that printing money might be good for the stock market, but it's going to be even better for gold and Bitcoin.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why I say on Truth, Money, and Freedom, the podcast, all the time, these numbers are illusionary. They're not even real. We don't even know what the real numbers are. We don't even know the real PE ratios anymore of these corporations. They're cooking their books.
This thing's crashing in terms of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
This thing's easily crashing in terms of gold and Bitcoin.
Sure. Gold has outdone everything, and Bitcoin has outdone gold. It's just a fact. It's cryptos and precious metals. Cryptos, by the way, gang, for all of you listening in, cryptos are kind of like our stock market at Truth, Money, and Freedom. We kind of see that as that's the speculative game we want to get into. We don't want to get into stocks because it's so heavily manipulated. You can't even chart it properly anymore. It's hard to chart.
Gold instead of bonds and cryptos instead of stocks.
That's correct. Yep. That's so this is the out of the box thinking that we do at Truth, Money, and Freedom. We don't go with the main assets or the mainstream assets that your run of the mill hometown financial consultant would have you get into. Hey, it's time to get into AT&T stock. No, it's time to get into Bitcoin, sir. It's past time to get into Bitcoin. You should have told me about it earlier.
Remember SALJ?
SLJ, Silge? Yeah.
Yeah. Remember I was showing you this flag here?
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Yep.
It broke out.
It's breaking out. Yep. It's breaking.
Yep. And that could be the beginning of a powerful move that goes really high.
Yep. This is an ETF fund, gang. This is in the standard stock market, but what it is an ETF that covers a lot of the junior miners. So they hold the stocks, and then the ETF goes up with the stocks. So it's a safe fund to get into if you're into the junior miners, if you don't want to pick and choose between all the juniors. So that's the purpose of the fund. And this is one that I've talked about in the podcast in the past, and it does look like it's a fairly good investment.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you don't know about individual mining companies, then yeah, the index is not a bad way to go. It pays a 2% dividend, which beats Treasury bonds,
Yep.
and it has huge speculative upside. So
Yes, it does. And very little downside, actually, because precious metals are going up. So,
right, well, I mean, look at what happened here in March, right? This thing crashed from $12 to $5. So it's pretty volatile. I got kicked in the gut really good there.
yeah, but it went right back up again. You didn't
Yeah,
sell at the low,
I
and
kept buying.
fundamentally, this is a good investment if you're going into paper markets. Because basically gold and silver are going up. So basically, the ETF for the junior miners will also go up in long term. Doesn't mean it's not going to have pullbacks or, and we're going to get into discussion on the beer flu here in just a minute. But you see that big long dip right there? That's the beer flu frickin' dip. It's we see that in every market. We saw that in the S&P. We see it in the NASDAQ. We see it in the Dow. We see it in gold and silver. Holy crap, did silver paper take a dump with the beer flu.
Look at that on the monthly chart. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
everything crashed because people don't understand their investments.
Yeah.
And when they're caught up, they just go to the dollar because they don't understand.
Yep.
But what we were thinking is, what would be the policy response
Correct.
to
Correct.
crisis, right?
That's right.
And the market wasn't thinking that far in advance, right?
Nope.
The market was just thinking right now.
We were.
Like,
we were
thinking about. We're thinking about what's going to be the policy response.
Money, printing more money. Get into gold and silver. Get into crypto. That's what you do when they're going to print more currency at the Federal Reserve. You get into safe haven, let's just call them safe spaces, gold and silver. There's no better place to be if you just want to hold on to your money and basically have it grow with inflation. If you want to go speculative, basically crypto is probably the best thing to do. Hold on to Bitcoin. But also, Craig just brought up Silge, and that is an ETF or an electronically traded fund, which is basically a conglomeration of a bunch of junior miner stocks. And these are basically silver miners. So, basically you can ride that up as well, with the silver price going up. So, and it can be a hedge for something else. If you're into, a blue chip, Silge would be a great hedge for a blue chip stock. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the thing is, miners they're all burning matches, and they shouldn't plan on holding them forever. But I do think we're got a good number of years ahead of us in this bull market, and that we don't have to worry about that just yet. But I think Bitcoin is a good holding forever.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's in a secular bull market. I think gold is a good holding forever. It's in a secular bull market. But the miners, they're only good for while gold's going up.
Yep.
Because when gold goes back down, they'll give back all their gains.
Yep. And also, Craig does have a long-term prediction on how long the Bitcoin bull market is good for. The secular bull run we're in right now. And Craig, go ahead and give us that.
Yeah, so my estimate is 450,000 June 2023.
Okay, gang, you heard it.
Or was it June 2024? I can't remember.
Well, actually, you said it ended in 2024.
6.5 years from the prior peak.
Yep.
What would that be?
That would be December of 2017, so that would put it to December of 2023.
Yeah, so then another 6 months after that, 6.5 years.
Okay,
right?
6.5 years. That would take us to June of 2024 with a possible, and doesn't mean, please don't hold Craig's feet to the fire because we're taking guesses here and we're not financial consultants.
Right. Obviously, the further we go out, the less certain I could be. Right.
Right. So a possibility of $450,000 Bitcoin, literally in about 4 years. So that's how long this bull market in Bitcoin will go. Now, there's a possibility it could be much higher than that.
Yeah.
Um,
Or if Bitcoin goes too high too fast and hits like 1-200,000 next year,
yep.
then I think that terminates the bull market earlier than I
And
expect.
it could. Yes, it could. But at the same time, if you're buying Bitcoin at 30,000 and you're selling it at 20,000, I don't know a whole lot of people that would be complaining. Especially if it's just a year later. But we are not financial consultants. We speculate, but as Craig said, we take real information on what government is going to do in response to something basically to think tank our way into prosperity. And actually, it's easy to do. If the Federal Reserve is response for this new, and by the way, if you don't mind, Craig, I'm going to shift now into the beer flu, because that's a big event from 2020. We should probably hit it just a little bit. The response to us was obvious in Truth, Money, and Freedom, gang. The Federal Reserve is going to print money. They were going to print more cash. And so it became very obvious to us that gold and silver were going to be recipients of some of this cash. And it's not because the new cash came out and it's going direct into gold and silver. This is smart people going, holy crap, taking money out of the stock market, out of the bond market, and putting it into the ultra safe haven asset, gold and silver. However, we also, believe it or not, in this chat with Craig with us here, we also were pretty sure that people were going to take bailout money and put it into crypto. And it turned out we were right. Free money, quote unquote, free money from the government going into crypto actually makes sense to us because people want to grow that money quickly. And basically, Bitcoin is a great place to do. Now, once again, we're not financial consultants. We're not saying Bitcoin will grow quickly with every single printing of currency from the government. Now, if they go 6 months in between printings, Bitcoin will be less the recipient. If they accelerate how much money they send U.S. residents, for quote-unquote COVID relief, Bitcoin will go up, rest assured.
it really depends on the market expectation, right? Like
Yeah.
if the market expects, monetary policy to tighten and interest rates to normalize, and then metals and cryptos can go down, and that's what happened in 2011 to
Yeah.
2015.
Yep.
Is the Fed convinced the market that they'd be able to unwind the balance sheet and normalize interest rates,
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to do that for years and years, and the price fell for years and years, but we knew that eventually they'd have to reverse course, cut rates back to zero, go to QE infinity, and it was just a matter of time. But the market isn't infinitely patient.
No, it's not.
And also, they convinced investors. They convinced them because much time had passed before anything happened.
And let's talk something technical real quick, Craig. We had a massive reversal in the yield curve in bond market, U.S. bond market, and it's usually about 18 months after that yield curve. You can expect a massive, massive stock market crash.
You mean the inversion?
The inversion, correct. So that we expect it to happen by now. It's actually 2 years into when the curve started, 18 months from when it completed. Well, not 18 months. We're at 16 months since the completion of the inversion.
When it's out of the inversion, so when it stopped being inverted, it's been 16 months?
That's correct. It's still to the completion. 16 months since the completion of the inversion, I believe.
Since it stopped being inverted.
Yes.
I really don't think. I think what's important is the inversion is just a reflection of the monetary policy.
Yes.
So that, like, basically when the Fed raises rates, they choke off the money supply,
Mhm.
and that's when the curve inverts, and that precedes the crisis. But because the Fed reversed course so fast, printed so much money so fast, you know, it may have been it. It might be over now.
Yep.
I'm looking at the unemployment chart. I see a spike in unemployment, and I've never seen a spike in unemployment that didn't precede an expansion.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it might just really, really stagflationary expansion from here.
Okay.
Like it's possible the crisis is over. Well, you know, it's not really over. I mean, it's a permanent crisis of
It's a
economic
permanent
decay,
financial crisis.
but you know, the imminent emergency part of it, I think it might be over.
Okay.
And that was hard for me to come to terms to consider that, that we're not going to get our 50% off housing and our single digit PE ratio stocks, and but they just won't let that happen. They won't allow that to happen until the market does something drastic, and I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, there's once again that comes down to free market principles, and free market, it just is very, very difficult for it to breathe right now with all this new currency coming in. That literally creates distortions throughout the entire system. Sometimes in housing, sometimes in stocks, and sometimes in crypto. And
yeah, it's all a question of like, when is it overdose, and where is that limit? And we're gonna find out where it is, but do we hit it this year, or do we hit it in 2027, or do we make it to 2033?
Yep. Well, and that's basically that's another thing. This financial crisis, and you guys who follow us on Truth, Money, and Freedom on YouTube and BitChute and Library and Odyssey, we knew that something was coming in September of 2019, because basically the repo market opened for the Federal Reserve. That meant the banks were in very serious trouble.
No, it was earlier than that.
Well, it was technically
correct. Really started. It was really the fourth quarter of 2018.
Yep, but
right?
we didn't talk about a black swan until September of 2019. That's when
Right,
the swan was coming. Go ahead.
But when things really started when we really started getting close to everything turning,
Yeah.
was in the fourth quarter of 2018. The Fed had done its final interest rate hike to 2.5%. Sorry.
You're okay, man.
Yeah, so they did their final interest rate hike to 2.5%. The market crashed 20%. They immediately reversed course, and they eased by Fed talk.
Yep.
And that's what then they had to actually reverse cut rates 3 times in 2019 before the repo market blowout.
Yep.
In September. So they had already found the limit and had a reverse course in the fourth quarter of 2018. And actually, GDP and manufacturing numbers started to turn negative in various places around the world, and for multiple quarters in Germany and Japan at that point. And so the world economy was in trouble, and it wasn't until the repo market blew out. So we knew that we were in such a very precarious bubble. And then when we saw the virus come, then we knew, well, that was gonna fucking be like a shotgun.
Yep.
To the bubble. Now the amazing thing is that they patched it up and they blew it back up again.
Yep. Yep.
Even after that.
That's correct. And not just us, the Chinese, the Europeans, actually their bubble is still deflating. They're trying very hard to patch their bubble in Europe right now. The euro is hurting. The dollar is going down right now too, gang. That's another way of predicting silver and gold is going to go up. Craig, can you give us your thoughts on the dollar right now?
Oh my God, it's awful.
Yep.
Awful.
And
it's the worst thing ever.
The dollar, the last big high it hit. And let me go back. Craig, can you hit that basically on your computer? Let's take a look at that. This is important, gang. And I'm still looking at, yeah, there you go. You got it now.
Yeah. So this was this spike here is what happened in March. This spike right here.
Yep.
So the dollar was going down, and then what was this March?
Yep.
9th. That's when everything started crashing, and everybody's running into the dollar. Everything else down, dollar up.
Yep.
Since then, it's been dollar down, everything else up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a nasty, nasty fucking slide we've had. You know, we could see the moving average band opening up. It's in a deep downtrend, very bad looking. Can we bounce here? That's the question. Are we going to have a bounce, an interim bounce? This is interesting. All right, that's kind of positive. We have a low and a higher low in the RSI. We have a low and a lower low in the price. So it could bounce here.
Okay.
Could bounce.
Well, and so you can clearly see from Craig's chart here, the dollar is hurting right now. It's speculative at this point because the dollar's manipulated just like everything else is. But what do they have to do to bring it up? You know, that's a, you know, by the way, a very good question. I don't know the answer to that other than literally shoving money into the bond market. You know?
No, that's not.
Runaway inflation.
What they need to do to bring the dollar up is stop buying bonds, to raise rates, to and to not go into for more debt, to not use fiscal stimulus. Don't you know, basically the exact opposite of everything they're doing.
Well, they'll do what Volcker did.
And
Right.
raise interest rates.
Raise interest rates, yeah. Let inflation run hot and then raise interest rates.
Yep. So.
Yeah, he was a 4-letter word.
We're not live, are we?
Yes, we're live,
Oh.
Mike. Welcome, Mike from Maine, by the way. The new voice you hear is the owner of our chat, Mike from Maine. We are live on YouTube, Mike. We currently have 8 people watching. We the highest number I saw watching, I think, was 14. But at any rate, the dollar is hurting, the euro is hurting, but the dollar is hurting more than most other currencies right now. The dollar is falling against other currencies, and how much longer will that go? We don't know. But I do know the euro is in worse shape than the dollar. That I can promise you. Craig, it's not healthy, but we're falling faster than it right now. Christine Lagarde is doing all kinds of QE out there at the EU.
What's their GDP as a percentage? What's their debt as a percentage of their GDP?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Oh, I heard that number just the other day, yesterday or
Aren't
day
some of these
before.
countries in Europe like 500%? Italy's like 350 or something.
Now, talk about a failed currency, though. That the euro is only 20 years old and it's failing.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't take long.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta get a drink of water.
Okay, no problem, Craig.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, so I don't know if you have something for 10 minutes. And
Sure, absolutely. Okay, gang. But yeah, Craig, that's Chaos Craig. He's our resident chartist inside Truth, Money, and Freedom in our Discord chat. A lot of the information that I bring you guys on the podcasts actually come directly from him, and I do give him credit in every podcast, though. And it is interesting to watch what's happening at the end of 2020, and who would have thunk at the beginning of 2020 things would have gone the way they have. It's been an interesting ride with the beer flu. Now we have 2 more variants, so they say, of the beer flu. And so what this tells us is basically the governments of the world are looking for ways to do perpetual lockdowns. I mean, it's just...
No,
Go ahead.
this means endemic. It means we have it forever.
Yeah, well, we already knew that part. And by the way, I'd like to bring you some new news, gang, if you haven't heard this. If you get the vaccine, you can still get the beer flu. If you guys haven't heard that.
Yeah, that was the news, a couple months ago, a month ago.
Yep.
They were saying it had to do with the Pfizer, and I said, well, it doesn't really give you immunity. You still catch it, but you don't get as sick as you would have if you hadn't had the vaccine.
Yep. And
Because you've already got the antibodies. It's basically an antibody injection.
Yep.
That's what it is.
And so 17 people died during the trials. And they said, what was it?
Acceptable risk.
Yeah, acceptable risk. 9 people. Oh, hang on, Mike. Not necessarily. This is the interesting part. According to Pfizer, 9 of those 17 people got the placebo. They did not get the actual vaccination.
Yeah. So
And-
that's what, 8
Yeah,
that
so
died of the vaccine?
that is correct. Yep. So, never knew about the EU being 20 years old. Oh, the Euro is 20 years old. That is correct, Nevada Cario. Pika. Pika is with us on YouTube. I'm looking at the YouTube comments. That
Okay,
is
trumpet sounds.
Yep. The Euro monetary unit is 20 years old. It came out in, well, it's 21. It came out in 1999.
Oh, it's of legal age now.
Yep. It can drink. It can smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so at any rate, wow, mass murders. That is correct. The vaccine is not safe, in my opinion. It's just not safe. And frankly, I don't even see it as a vaccine. I see it as, by the way, I'm about to get a little crude. I don't want to get crude. I try to hold myself back when I talk about this, but this is very important information that is not being portrayed by the mainstream media, and I'd like to say it right now. And that is, there is approximately a 40% chance that men will have erectile dysfunction after taking this vaccine. And I'm not making this up. This information is actually freely available.
Stay away from that vaccine.
Yep, and they don't even know if it's temporary or not yet. So guys, think this through before you get the vaccine. And also, there's women that have tried to get pregnant that were on the trials, and so I know that I don't know the percentage though, gang. I need to get that information so I can convey it to you properly. But there are women that have tried to get pregnant after they've done the trial and they can't get pregnant. So it looks like there's a lot of sterilization features with this vaccine. That really shouldn't surprise us though, because Bill and Melinda Gates are involved in this project, and sterilization of Africa and South America is something they know a lot about. They've been doing that with vaccines in Africa and South America Africa for 30 years, South America for nearly 15. So they're eugenists. They do want to control the population. You can freely see this on YouTube with speeches with Bill Gates. You can actually see him talk about what would be a good thing. The roll up your sleever is the plague. Yep, that's correct, green-eyed flower. And in fact, I hate to, once again, I'm going to propose an idea, and that maybe they're putting something together inside your body. The virus is one part, vaccine number 1 is one part, vaccine number 2 is one part, and they're actually assembling something. Maybe a new protein in your body that'll attack your immune system, maybe cancer. I just don't know. We'll find out in time. But also too, I do want to say what I do. What does Timmy Chonga do? What does Mike from Maine do? What we do is we take our vitamins. Vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Very, very important for your immune system. So
And selenium.
And selenium as well, correct. So, and hydrochloroquine. That's been a big thing in 2020. That has a lot of zinc in it. So, of course, that'll help you with this beer flu. It's got zinc.
Or tonic water. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the tonic water, but...
Yeah, I think it's tonic water that's got quinine in it.
Yep. So that's what I recommend. Also, I want to tell you what I've noticed. Oh, a couple of more news items. News flash, I'm in Springfield, Missouri, or close to it anyway. The St. John's Mercy Hospital is officially full of people with coronavirus. It is true. It is. We just found out today, as a matter of fact. So
St. John's.
Yeah, actually, it used to be St. John's. It's now been renamed to Mercy Hospital, and I know it as St. John's. Go ahead.
Where, in Minneapolis?
Springfield.
Really?
Yep. And they actually have an enormous amount of people. They are actually overflowing in there right now. So the reason I bring this up, gang, is because this is the first time the hospitals have said they are full, that they actually were telling the truth here in Springfield, Missouri. I don't want to say that for everywhere across the country, but it is true here. It's the first time they told the truth about that. Another thing I want to say is I know a lot of people who have had the beer flu now, and I'm talking about in real life, not online friends or anything like that. People in real life that I know. And it seems to me, and I'm taking a mental account of this, it's the folks that really wear the mask full time, like 8 hours, 10 hours a day. They get hit the hardest. And once again, I know I'm an anti-masker. I know, and it's true, I am. I won't wear a mask. I try very hard not to wear a mask. And I'm not saying it because I don't like wearing the mask. I'm saying it because I've observed this. Those who wear the mask seem to get hit harder by this. And it could be the lack of oxygen affecting the immune system. You know, it could be any number of things. But at the same time, though, just to let you guys know, that's what I've observed. And once again, I am not a scientist. I'm not a chemist. But this is what I have seen in my circle of people that I know personally. And it also includes Minneapolis, because I come from that area. That's my stomping grounds. And I have a lot of family up there. And everyone's getting this beer flu. Everyone's getting it. It doesn't matter if you're in Springfield or if you're in Minneapolis. So I've noticed myself.
Oh my God, I'm taking an extra vitamin.
Yep, there you go, Mike. Take your vitamins. So I don't mean to bore you guys, but it just seems to me, like for instance, my brother Chris, I love him to death. He wears a mask more, because he's out working he's a UPS guy, and he's a driver, and he has to wear his mask a lot. And when he got the beer flu, which is around Thanksgiving, it kicked his butt. It absolutely kicked his butt. My parents, who were in their, my mom and dad are about 80 years old. They both got it too, probably from Chris, but it didn't hit them anywhere near as hard, but they're home and they're not masking and they are taking vitamins. And I have to worry about my parents. They're in their, they're 80 and, but they're not wearing masks. Therefore they've got good oxygen flow. And my brother Chris's wife, she got hit with this thing too, but since they've closed down the Minneapolis school, they never reopened Minneapolis schools. She teaches from home with a laptop. And she didn't get hit as hard as Chris did, my brother, who is wearing a mask all the time. So at any rate, and fear is the hoax. I'm not 100% sure, basically, you're right. They're certainly spreading a lot of fear porn with this virus, Pika. There is no doubt about this. But what I'm... Yeah, just saying that the virus, first of all, is real. I believe it's a bioweapon. I don't think the virus itself is a hoax, but I think the fear they put in people, wear a mask, social distance, this is the fear. And it's to train us psychologically not to trust people. So we on a regular basis here in Truth, Money, and Freedom actually run training exercises in case someone comes into the voice chat who does have coronavirus. So we practice that scenario all the time. And so at any rate, I thought I'd throw a joke in. Obviously we don't.
You mean like the clown car fire drill?
Yeah, it's like a Chinese fire drill.
Yeah.
Yep. We also conduct training exercises in case a live shooter comes into the chat with a gun, so we know what to do if that happens.
Yeah, we practice our quick draws. Yeah.
Okay. It's because I got pneumonia from Monday, December 2019. She infected me. I have grown immunity. And that's right, Pika. Guess what? God gave you one heck of an immune system. but it needs to practice once in a while. It's okay to get sick once in a while. You know, that's how your immune system knows what to do. It needs practice. So, but literally, herd immunity. And by the way, I want to talk about one more thing. I actually covered this in the last podcast. The World Health Organization has moved the goalposts once again for herd immunity. Herd immunity used to include vaccinations and infections with immune system response. They have now taken away immune system from herd immunity. It's been there for since the concept of herd immunity since the 40s. That your immune system responding to and creating an antibody for an infectious disease that actually helps build herd immunity throughout your community. But the fact is, the WHO doesn't acknowledge that anymore. The only way you can get herd immunity is through vaccination. That's what they're saying anyway. Happy New Year from. Okay, got you. Tribulation Prepper's dropping out, gang. He says it's a little bit late for him. All right, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it, and Happy New Year to you as well, sir. So, okay, I'm sorry. I went on a rant about the beer flu. So, but at any rate, I think that it's incumbent upon us to not wear the mask as often as possible. You know, what bothers me, gang, is when I'm driving down the road and people are wearing the masks in the car. I mean, give me a break. The virtue signaling at its finest, isn't it? You know, it's just people are nuts. I'm sure everyone else sees that when they're driving too. It's not just me, but take your mask off when you don't have to wear it. Holy God, let your body get some oxygen. Let your immune system start to heal, you know, from you depriving it of oxygen for the last 8 hours, you know? Okay. All right, Chaos.
Yes.
Yep. So basically I was talking about the vaccine, or I often call it the serum, because vaccine is a bad word on YouTube, by the way. That's the V word. And then we talked about the beer flu. But what other major events did we see in 2020 that we have forgotten about?
The election.
Well, the election is not over yet, apparently. We just don't know when that's going to end. You know what? I think thank you, by the way, GFI, for bringing that up. I think if Trump had his way, he'd push, the election all the way into June or July or something. But at any rate, that's just my joke about this. There is a lot of people that do have some hope that something big is coming up, particularly around January 6th, I believe is the date. And that's when the Senate will be announcing the Electoral College votes. For history's sake, that is not normal. The Senate does that before they break for Christmas, always. And so this is the first time we've seen this. So at any rate, I don't know what the purpose is of it, but we're now hearing from the Republican caucus in Congress that basically they're going to somehow oppose the vote. I didn't even know this could be done, if this is constitutional, if it's legal, but the entire caucus is talking about literally opposing the actual Electoral College votes if Pence, because apparently, and there's one more thing, I'm confused. You guys can help me. I hear that there's two sets of votes, one for Biden and one for Trump from the Electoral College. Can anyone help me out? Is this true?
Pence is the president of the Senate.
Yes, I understand that part.
President of the Senate, so it's like tiebreaker vote.
No.
Power duty kind of deal.
No, that's not what I mean, Mike. I mean, I'm hearing that there's two sets of Electoral College votes. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, there's some delegates that were nominated by the Republican Party, but they were not accepted by the state board for some reason.
Okay. Well, that's
why there's two sets of.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion here because there was certification of votes in states where they know there was enormous voter fraud. They certified the election anyway for their state. Um, and there's a lot of folks out there, saying that basically they've now committed a crime. And so that will come into account maybe on January 6th or maybe January 20th. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, right now it looks to me like Biden's in. That's what it looks like to me. And I don't understand all the cloak and dagger stuff going on in the background. And Pika says, I don't believe it. Go ahead.
They're busy sabotaging Biden's presidency.
Yeah.
Trump's making sure he's got his wrecking ball. The wrecking ball is still going strong.
Yep.
Just before Biden walks in.
Yep.
Because he doesn't want Biden undoing everything he's done.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, it's par for the course. I mean, it's hard to tell at this point what's exactly is going to be going on here. But so according to some folks, we could have some really enormous fireworks as far as the election's concerned, literally next week. Others are saying it's on the 20th. I don't know. But Pence has to say something on the 6th. So, Pika says he doesn't believe anything he sees on TV or on the net. And I agree with that, Nevada Cario. Research everything. And he says, I mean for this election. Well, I got you. I understand. You burned your vote registration card today on YouTube. Oh, hang on. You actually did a video where you burned your voter registration card? That's awesome. Oh, boy. I'll raise my glass to you. There's only water in here, but believe me, I mean it in the best way possible. Congratulations to you, sir. That's neat. I never thought of doing that.
Oh, yeah, civil disobedience. Yeah, that's back in the old draft days when they used to burn their draft cards at protest meetings, and marches.
Yeah, well, Nevada Cario, by the way, Guy, he is one of our big YouTube followers. And he has his own channel as well. But he is, I'm going to have to say, you're more anarchist, aren't you, than you are libertarian, Pika? Based on the videos that I see you do, I think you're probably more on the anarcho-capitalist or whatever it's called, anarcho-capitalist.
Like Jeff Berwick.
Jeff Berwick. And also, too, I mean, I hate to put Craig in a box, but Craig strikes me as the same way.
Yeah.
So, anarcho-capitalist. Anarchy with capitalism. No rulers, but you have capitalism.
The market is the government.
Yep. Yep.
Market governs itself.
Yep. So.
Oh, you mean it isn't the mafia that's the government?
No, there's a lot of mafia in government. Trust me. They're there. Yep. So, let's see. Pika says yes. So he's more of a anarcho-capitalist than he is a libertarian. I consider myself more on the libertarian side. More like an anarcho-Christian. Yeah, you coined that phrase the other day. Libertarians are generally Christian as well. So, we have a lot in common. Yep. Yeah,
well,
labels.
Trump is still,
Go ahead, Mike.
Trump is still building his party, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
His new, what do they call them now? The Trumpsters.
Yeah, something like that. The deplorables, actually, they kind of took that from
Oh,
Hillary.
well, no, it's not the word I'm looking for. I knew it a while ago.
Well, actually, Pika said he's more of a free market guy, not a capitalism guy. Actually, capitalism is free markets. It's the fact that the mainstream media and also the public schools have convinced everyone that capitalism and free markets are, basically the same thing, and they're flawed, and that's why everything's falling apart. But the fact is, we haven't had capitalism, true capitalism, in the United States in a very long time. It's just we are not drug warriors. Okay? I'm not sure what that means. It's just we are not drug warriors. But at any rate, capitalism is actually what we strive for. That's what we want, which is free markets. And where the people decide. Money decides. The price that's, basically actually seeking the actual proper price for every asset. And that happens in a capitalist system. Since the government keeps pumping currency into the system, we have major distortions across all the markets.
Price.
Yeah,
no price discovery.
That's what I was thinking of, is price discovery. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, we don't have price discovery. I was talking about this earlier, Pika, where it's very difficult to tell what a PE is for a company now. And I'm going to give you an example of this. Now, the companies will tell you their PE ratio, but it's a drug war. Okay, gotcha. Understood. Michael Burry, who the Big Short movie was based on, actually came out on Twitter 2 months ago and told everyone what the real the real value of Tesla stock was. And now I take mention, I take notice whenever Michael Burry does something. He's an extremely intelligent man. He's got a severe form of autism, which lends into mathematics coming very easy for him. And so at any rate, what he found out and what he announced on Twitter, on his Twitter page, is that Tesla is 18 times overvalued. 18 times overvalued. Well, the PE ratio doesn't reflect that. So there's some...
He shorted Tesla in December.
Yeah. Yep. So Tesla is one of those stocks that's probably going to come down real hard in the next correction. But Tesla is also getting an enormous amount of government money. So will it go down, or will it crack up, boom up? I mean, I don't know. But 18 times overvalued is what he came up with, where the average person on the market is saying, oh, Tesla's maybe 2 times or 3 times overvalued. He came up with 18 times.
Well, guess what?
Uh-huh.
If Elon Musk converts his treasury into Bitcoin, Michael Burry might get burned.
Yep. That's true. And like most conservatives, I mean, Trump. Yeah, you won't find a whole lot of Trump fans in here. I think most of us in Truth, Money, and Freedom would rather have Trump than Biden. I don't know that I really care either way, but actually, I got to tell you, actually, I do. Because Trump has been quite entertaining. And we won't get that level of entertainment from Biden.
No collusion. No collusion whatsoever.
Yep. So I'll miss the tweets that Trump gives us. I'll miss those.
Yeah. Oh God, I loved those presidential tweets.
They were awesome. For 18 months, Mike, he was dragging us along. Yeah, we're 2 days away from a trade deal with China.
Oh yeah, and then Twitter banned him and suspended him.
Yep. Yep.
They were even fact-checking him.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time indeed.
He still got Twitter still posts disclaimers underneath all of his tweets.
I'm sure they do. But this is one thing I've been very critical of Trump on. Trump should have hopped to a different network and gotten off Twitter.
Mm-hmm. He should have started his own.
Well, actually, no. He should have showed us what the free market is, and he won't do it. He won't do it. He wanted to stay on Twitter, and shame on him. Let's see. Nope. Let's see. It was funny back in 2016, 2017. Oh, they've been hilarious ever since then too, Pika. You have to admit.
I'm still trying to think of that word that describes the Trump supporter.
You talking about the Proud Boys?
No. but not like a faction of anything. It's more like, mainstream versus. I'll think about it. Let's just keep on rolling. Yeah. It'll pop into my mind.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some of the more. I love how he uses adjectives. Creepy Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden.
Well, the
Hillary.
term encompasses like climate change deniers. Like in the Trump supporters, the people the working stiffs that are trying to get ahead, that support Trump.
Yep.
It's like the name of the party. It's like a party within the Republican Party.
I don't know.
It's not like the old Tea Partiers. It's like the Trump supporters. They're naming it another name or a term. And I'm trying to think of that term because I know we've all heard it about 20 times a day in the past 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, it's slipping my mind. Pika says, not anymore. I swear, if Trump never had said, I like take the guns first, due process later, and now I have it in my state. So are you saying you have red flag laws in Nevada? And stupid voters, he said. So apparently they voted something in Nevada, but I thought you guys had like concealed carry there or something. It's hard to keep up with the gun laws in 50 states. It's really hard.
No, you're only allowed to carry a gun in Nevada if you're a cute 25 or 24-year-old, blonde.
Okay. All right.
They usually prefer a 25 caliber.
Well, 25.
The powder burns. The powder burns are less severe.
Yep. And 3D printing is the future, he said. Absolutely. In fact, 3D printing of homes is actually coming in Nevada, Cario, faster than you may think. I think within 5 years, that'll be mainstream. 3D printing of homes, because it can be done for very, very cheap. You can get a home printed up, get yourself a good 1,500 square foot home printed up for about $15,000, $20,000. It'll be, real good home.
Isn't that going to be deflationary on homes?
Yeah, it'll be incredibly deflationary on homes.
Yeah.
But
no.
but that's what happens if they push the prices too high. Other things in the free market start, materializing.
Yeah, well, the problem is that government won't like that. They only want prices to go up. They can't tax you on a cheaper home.
It's like another name for MAGA. Trump's the Trump supporters.
The deplorables MAGA is what I remember, but.
Yeah.
Green-Eyed Flower says, I watched Juan O. Savin on Roseanne Barr's channel. Juan O. Savin is supposedly JFK Jr. That whole theory is so incredible. I understand why so many people believe in Trump. So the theory about JFK Jr. still being alive, is that what you're referring to, Green-Eyed Flower?
Oh, he's wearing the Trump suit. Yeah. Hello?
And Nevada Cario saying he's seen 2 people open carry. Okay, so Green-Eyed Flower said yes, the theory of JFK Jr. We'll see what happens. Like I said, actually, a lot of questions are going to be answered for those who followed the Q phenomenon. Literally 6-7 days. A lot of their questions are going to be answered. We'll see what happens. So we're cautiously optimistic that there is still some sort of ace up Trump's sleeve. Some of us have no optimism at all left. But some of us, like Drifter in our chat, you know, he's confident that. Oh, you're Canadian. Gotcha, Green-Eyed Flower. Yeah, I seem to remember that about you. And Green-Eyed Flower, if you don't mind me asking, are you male or female? And Pika says, we are all deplorables, but worse than Trumpsters. We are all deplorables, but worse than Trumpsters. Female. Okay, gotcha. All right, gotcha. Well, once again, we absolutely love having you on our YouTube channel. We love the comments you put in. And the video that I put out yesterday, I tried to make it funny while I was throwing out as many truth bombs as humanly possible, so that it would throw off all the AI with YouTube. And I don't know if you guys, Chaos Craig or Mike or GFI, have seen the video I did yesterday, but it was kind of funny. I kept telling the CIA how much I loved them and putting my face up close to the camera and kissing every time I was saying something that would be something YouTube would find offensive.
No, I didn't see it, TC. I'm sorry.
Yep. So, yeah, poor girl. Yep. I'm sorry, Green-Eyed Flower, you had to go through that video. Sorry about that.
Well, you know, look how disappointed I was. I woke up a half hour ago. I heard all sorts of tested atmosphere, and I thought, holy shit. Oh, sorry. Holy cow, they threw Hillary Clinton in prison or something.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just New Year's Eve.
Yeah. And Green-Eyed Flower said you were doing a Jeff Berwick, and you are so right. Yes, I got that whole idea from Berwick. You bet I did. I love Berwick.
Yeah.
And Jimmy D said, yeah, and it was scary. Poor Jimmy D. Jimmy D is actually in therapy right now from watching my last video.
Well, he can't unsee it.
He can't unsee it. That is correct. Yeah, so that's the problem with watching a video like that. You can't unsee it. Yep. But so you're in Canada, Green-Eyed Flower. What's your take on everything going on up there? I've got actually some questions for you. Now, our understanding is, and this is not mainstream media, this is alternative media, that the IMF is working on a deal with the Canadian government to actually bail everyone in Canada out of their debt, with the understanding that all property would be owned by the government, and that's actually how you usher in communism.
Well, they didn't ask me, and I was born in Canada.
Yeah, they didn't ask you at all, Mike, and you're Mike from Maine. Nope. You have to be MFC before they'll ask you.
Yeah, don't tell them, though.
Yeah. It's communist in Canada. Yeah, it's getting there, Jimmy D, but we're not far behind them. You know, especially since the beer flu. We have totalitarian crap going on all over the place. It's not fun.
Yeah.
You know,
poor Canada. They've got New Brunswick's got 25 cases, and they've locked down all of New Brunswick for like a year.
Yeah, Green-Eyed Flower reports we're already communist. Oh, geez.
Nova Scotia's even worse.
Yeah, I know. They're getting the brunt of this.
The lockdowns, yeah.
It's time to get rid of Trudeau and his entire cabinet.
It's hard times in the Maritimes all over again. Yeah.
Yep.
Even Maine, for that matter, we're getting overrun here in the most remote county in the state.
Yep. Jimmy D says
mostly nursing homes.
Yeah, the nursing home is, that's. Yeah, Jimmy D says, well, at least we're in fact behind them. That is correct. Yep. So we are behind them. And then Jimmy D says, told you, TC. Yep.
Yeah, and the border's still closed.
Yep.
And nothing but freight coming through. Oh, and Canadian nurses.
Oh,
we love the Canadian nurses.
I'd like to say hello to Vessel, who just came in to join us in the voice chat here. Hey there, buddy. We are live on YouTube right now. I'm thinking about wrapping it up, though, just because I'm getting so tired. But nice to have you
Yeah,
on,
it
man.
is. And
Go ahead, Vessel.
I was just saying, how's everybody doing?
We're doing okay, man. We were just waiting for you to come on so we could wish you a Happy New Year.
oh, that's right. I forgot to say Happy New Year to everybody.
And Happy New Year to you as well, Mike.
Yep, Happy New Year.
Yeah, we're getting close to it, actually. Looks like, Mike, you are 6 minutes away.
I am? Well, let me just hop in my car. I'll be right over.
Okay, gotcha. We love you, Patrick. Thanks, Nevada Cario. Or Pika, as I often call you. We love you too, man. And thank you very much for all your comments and supporting our YouTube channel. Don't forget, we are on BitChute, gang, and Library in case we ever get shut off of YouTube. We're being shadow banned so heavily over there. I can't even describe it. They're even removing tags from our videos so people can't search and find our videos. That's how bad they're hitting us.
Shadow band in the moonlight.
Yep. And yeah, it started happening when I started doing the Second Amendment preservation stuff, for the state of Missouri.
No, they don't like that.
Apparently not. Or Odyssey, correct. Odyssey and Library are the same place. And, American Man is with us, too. Hey, American Man.
Yeah, my family left, so I decided to come back in.
Okay, gotcha. You had family over?
Had,
Okay.
very, very briefly.
Okay, gotcha. Yep, and we got Nevada Cario, we've got Vessel, Jimmy D, and several others actually still watching us on YouTube. And but at any rate, I was talking about the beer flu, and I was kind of curious if anyone has any predictions, any wild predictions of where they're going to take us with this bioweapon. I'm sorry, the beer flu.
It's here to stay. It's going to be endemic. We're going to have waves of it 30 years from now. Yeah. Hello, dystopian future. Here we are.
Yep.
What seems to be taking place a lot of reminds me of the movie Logan's Run, and that's what I'm predicting for the future of America.
Yeah, the Chinese kicked over the chessboard when they released this accidentally on purpose or whatever.
Yeah,
they did. And think how much it disrupted.
Well, level playing field across the globe.
Yeah. Technically, it's even worse than that, because technically they edited an election, by having all the mail-in ballots.
And they interfered with the U.S. election by releasing this damn virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But wait, I thought it was only Russia that interfered with people's elections.
No collusion.
Yeah.
No collusion whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then again, we have to assume the elections were real to begin with. So,
well, we have to assume Putin had a big bowl of popcorn all that time, too.
Yep.
But he's got his hands full now, although he's really ranting and raving about his Sputnik 5 vaccine.
Yep. So I think you're correct on that. The coronavirus is here to stay, and they'll have yearly inoculations for it. However, the government's response to the beer flu is extreme. It's absolutely extreme and unnecessary.
It'll
And
be the new flu shot of the century. Yeah.
Yep.
For 100 years, that'll be your new flu shot. You know how they've been pushing a flu shot? Oh, you're over 65, you should get your flu shot, Except it'll be,
Yeah, it gets worse than that. Shoot, man, I went by Walgreens, was it September? And they actually had get your flu shots here for free and a $25 Walgreens gift card.
Oh,
right.
I thought they were giving away guns.
No, we're in Missouri, and they
I
all
wish.
yeah, they give away guns everywhere else, Mike. At Walgreens, they give away gift cards. You know, we're
No,
in
your
Missouri.
coronavirus shot comes with an automatic pistol or something. I mean,
Yep, that
pump
seems
shot
reasonable.
gun.
2 clips
Yep.
and a couple boxes of ammo. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They
see,
probably would try that if they thought it worked.
Well, we should start a letter writing campaign or something.
Yep.
Did you guys happen to see what I posted in the chat before we started this adventure here of being live on New Year's?
I did not. What'd you post, man?
13 people died during Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine trial, and this is most exciting, 60% of Ohio nursing home workers refused vaccine.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's getting worse. It's not getting better. And you're right. Actually, I heard different numbers. I heard 17 people died during the trial. And there was like 9 of them actually had the placebo that they blamed. They said they died for other reasons. It's coincidental they died a few hours after taking the placebo.
Right.
Gunshot wound, motorcycle accident, stabbing, poisoning.
Heart attack, none of those things.
Yep.
Heroin OD.
Yeah. People just don't die of natural causes anymore. You know, it's all coronavirus now.
Sure is.
Yep.
Yep. That's why we have to get this vaccine that kills nurses a couple of days after they take it.
Yeah. And Resin Nunn says, Happy New Year. Resin, are you on the East Coast? No, you're in Missouri, aren't you, Resin? Happy New Year to you as well, by the way. We're in Missouri Central Time, or I am. Mike just had Happy New Year. Happy New Year to Mike. Mike from Maine had just crossed over the line. And
I have?
You
have.
have.
Yeah, that's right. I have. Yeah.
Mike, you're 1 hour ahead of us. So, you know, if the stock market drops, I expect a call from you. I want advance notice of that. If I could get 1 hour advance notice of the stock market dropping,
well,
that'd be a real. Go ahead.
I mean, the Canadian border is like 3 miles to the east. I could have, been earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Mike. If you leave and go into Canada, does the state of Maine charge you for relocation taxes?
I don't know. If I wanted to move to Canada, I got like 6 months of paperwork, mostly tax. You know, I get like a tax ID number in Canada. It takes about 6 months. Actually, I like it the way I have it because I can abuse the laws in both countries.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm all about.
Canada considers me a non-resident Canadian citizen, and here in the States, they consider me a resident U.S. citizen. So.
Yeah.
Mike,
I got the best of both worlds.
Can I call you a Canuck?
Well, yeah, half my family is Canuck. Yeah, Canuck. Yeah.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
Well, actually, both sides, because in the 1840s they came along and they forced this border upon us, and it separated us people. Half of us thought we were Canadian anyway, and the other half said, no, we're American, and nobody really cared. And then they came and put the border in the 1840s, 1860s.
Gotcha.
It divided families along an imaginary line. Well, they used the river as an imaginary line.
Well, but at the same time, Mike, you've been in North Carolina, you've been in Colorado.
What was it? Oh, no, it's like being Mexican. Yeah, we didn't cross the border crossed us.
Yep, that's right. All righty. Anyone have any predictions for 2021 apart from more lockdowns? Let's see, more bailout money from the Federal Reserve. Let's see. Does anyone want to make a final prediction before the 6th of January who the president's going to be?
I do.
Okay, go for it, American
Kamala
Man.
Harris. Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Okay, Donald Trump. Okay. Chaos Craig, you want to weigh in? Oh, Chaos Craig left for a while. I forgot about that. GFI, you want to weigh in? Your guess on who the president's going to be?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be Biden.
Oh, Chaos might have gone for a toast to champagne. After all, it is midnight in New York City. You know, Times Square and all that.
Jimmy D's prediction is that TC is going to get older in 2021. Well, Jimmy D, that's a pretty safe bet right there. I wouldn't want to take odds on it. Let's see. Nevada Cario is saying Joe Biden along with gun control. So,
that's going to happen no matter who the president is. So that was an easy one.
Yep. But Mike, you want to take a stab?
What's that?
Who's going to be president?
Are we live right now?
Yes, we're still live. Yep.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
She's gonna pull a Putin and poison Biden or something, and
kill the old bastard.
Yep.
He'll slip on his Earl Grey tea and break his neck, you know,
or his bar soap.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget he's got a bad ankle.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay.
It's only being held together by an ankle bracelet.
Jimmy D says Trump will be president. Okay, and one more person before I make my prediction, and that would be Vessel. Vessel, the people want to know. They want to hear from you, Vessel. Who do you think is going to be president?
Probably me.
Oh, it'll be Vessel. I'd actually like that. I didn't realize that was an option. My vote's for
That's
Vessel.
what I'm shooting for.
Actually, my vote's for little Timmy Chunga, the dog.
No, Timmy Chunga. Yeah, he's not getting any younger, and I need to get him as mayor of my town.
Oh, man, that's true. If he becomes president, he'll get all gray in the face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's already started.
Hey, I want to ask.
Sure.
If Trump doesn't get the presidency, how many presidents served 4 years, then waited 4 years, and then served another 4 years?
I think it's only happened once.
I didn't know that was legal.
Yeah, absolutely it is. They get 8 years. Well, hang on. Before FDR, they could serve as many times as they wanted to. But who was it that skipped 4 years and became president again? Was it John Adams or John Quincy Adams, maybe? John Quincy Adams, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Vessel, really, who do you predict to be the president? He's ignoring me.
What'd you say?
Who are you predicting to be the president in 2021, other than yourself?
I don't know. I really don't care who it is. It's going to be crappy to win.
Yeah, very true.
You're too young to be a cynic like that, Vessel.
I just tell him I really.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, that was his rosy outlook.
Yep. That's right. That was the optimistic outlook. I don't really care. I'm screwed either way.
Yeah.
Here's the president, Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland. Okay, gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Any other predictions for 2021?
Well, hang on. I want to read a few things. And let's see. His Nevada Cario says, my vote's for Patrick. That's TC or Timmy Chonga. And Jojo, my dog, for vice president. Well, I'd be happy to have him on the ticket. So Timmy for president. I'm going to make my prediction right now, gang. And it may surprise you. But oddly enough, I've just got this weird feeling that it's going to be Trump.
Thank you very much.
I would, love to say that it's going to be easy, and I don't think it is. I think there's something brewing, and that we don't know yet, to keep Trump in office. And once again, I'm not falling for all the propaganda that's out there. There's a lot of stuff coming out from the QAnon folks that can't be verified at all. And I don't want to say that that's influencing me. It's literally that Trump keeps saying, hey, if you don't pass this bailout bill, you may have to wait for the next president, and who knows, that might just be me. And, stuff like that. Trump is great for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
he's all Hollywood, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
And
surprised.
I remember he's a TV personality too.
He is. He's a reality show guy. So, but like I said, part of me just doesn't want to see him go. I mean, he's been very entertaining.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, the China virus. Lock her
China virus.
The China virus.
Yeah, he was going to lock her up. He never did he?
No, he sure didn't.
It was the virus that stopped that in its tracks.
First, the Democrats. Now it's the virus, and next time, who knows what it'll be?
Yep.
Well,
maybe, just maybe, Obama will be the next president.
Well, the WHO is promising another pandemic.
Yeah, I know they are.
Down the road.
Yes, they are. They're saying this is just a warm-up.
You know what cracks me up about these so-called experts? They sure know when things are going to go bad. Why do they always have the insight on this?
Maybe it's because they already know that this virus is going to mutate into something much, much worse.
I don't think it's Mike. Viruses in nature don't do that. They don't mutate into a worse form. They mutate into a less deadly form.
Right, they get weaker as time goes by.
Probably not this one.
Well, it'd just be a new virus.
They've probably had a couple 100,000 generations of these viruses go through, and maybe it mutates into the alien or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just like these oh, help me, Lord. These penicillin-resistant germs.
Yeah, like the flesh-eating bacteria. Yeah.
Where the hell does this stuff come from? I know this stuff is man-made. I don't care what anybody says.
Yep.
Look, they're just trying to kill us, man, period. They want to wipe as many people off the planet as they can.
They claim that the flesh-eating bacteria was a regular bacteria, but then it got used to penicillins.
Yeah.
So
now
it just cruises right through penicillin like it was just a regular bloodstream.
Yep, but it's because of the FDA. We don't get new antibacterials because the FDA wants $1 billion to make any drug legal. And
but
that's ridiculous.
We're getting antibiotics anyway. It's in our meat.
Well, that's the cow antibiotics.
That's why I don't eat beef, gentlemen.
That's why Mike doesn't have worms. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The chicken antibiotics and the pork antibiotics, It's all the same thing. It's all penicillin extracts anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, don't forget the chemicals they put on the vegetable.
Yep.
The vegetables are chemicals. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, come up here and smell the Roundup.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, in Iowa, you got to be smelling Roundup 24/7 up there.
You can smell it in the springtime.
Yep.
Damn. After all the lawsuits and they still use that crap? Are you kidding me?
Shoot.
Well, some of the farmers love it because you apply it 2-3 times a year and you don't have any weeds.
Yep.
You don't have any food either.
Or everything, you take a field that's been laying dormant for, 3 or 4 years, everything's growing. There are weeds, hay, trees. You go there with Roundup, it kills everything, and then when it starts springing up again, which it will, you just go with another application, and then you plant.
And everything that consumes it turns to cancer.
Well, I don't really want to tell you that. But.
Yeah, that's one of those little factoids they leave out of the deal.
Yeah, that little important bit of information.
Hey, Robert from North Carolina. Robert Smith is saying Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Robert.
And Pika is saying actually it's pronounced Hobama.
Obama.
Uh-huh.
What a hoe.
Happy New Year,
H-O-E-B-A-M-A.
Russell.
Oh, I know my hose. You know, remember when American Man was out there with a hoe? I
I
could
do.
hear that hoe.
Oh yeah, you remember
Sounded-
those days, huh, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, when you were weeding that rock garden there or your sidewalk.
Yeah, my aunt's
Paved
front
sidewalk.
yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole summer, man, I was busy. Actually, 2 summers in a row, I did that.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I know my hose, you know.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't do that no more at her house.
Yeah, well, I don't do any more hoeing either. You know, it's too hard on the back and the shoulders.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
getting too old for that.
Yeah, I stopped hoeing too and decided to settle down and get married. Sorry.
Nevada
I
Cario
apologize.
says, what was that sound? I'm not sure, Nevada
Exactly.
Cario. There's a lot
You
of
know, the
noises.
sound of a hoe hitting the dirt, you know, hitting dirt and stone and weeds. Yeah, there's a certain tone.
Even the clink of the iron
Yeah.
hitting a rock. Mike knows it.
Mhm. Yep.
Yep.
I'll tell you if it's a pickaxe or a hoe or a rake or a shovel.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pika
Or a
says
prop
Happy
bar.
New Year's Eve from or Happy New Year's from Nevada. Thank you, Nevada Cario. Same thing to you, buddy. Same thing, man. This is going to be an interesting new year. Let's go into
Oh,
it
God.
positively. Oh, come on, American man. Let's all put on a
I'm not
smiley
looking
face.
forward to it, man. I'm sorry. I know what's coming, and it's not going to be pretty.
I know it's
I'm
not.
sorry.
I know.
Well, I saw what I wanted for Christmas next year.
What?
It's a John Deere snowblower. It's bigger than a bucket steer,
Mm.
and it's got like a 10-foot wide snowblower on it, and it's got high-speed hydraulics. You hear that hydraulics whine, and you see that snow fly like 110 feet away.
Yeah.
A solid column of snow, yeah, just arcing over the snowbank. I want one of those. It must be like $100,000 or $80,000.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I could make money with that. You know, as long as there's no more global warming. Plus, we're having an easy winter up here, so I'm glad I didn't buy one this year because I'm not going to be making money. We're having like a snow drought.
Mm.
Wow, Mike.
Yeah.
It's easier on you. We're getting cold weather, but we're not getting much in the way of the S word here. We get a little bit.
Should have 3 or 4 feet on the ground by now, but we only got like 3 inches, and we got that last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Merry belated Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I ordered that up for you, Mike. I just thought it was going to be more.
Mm.
Me too, but don't worry, we're getting more snow Saturday.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Just
Remember all
wouldn't
the
be Maine.
snow you used to shovel outside of your house there?
Oh yeah, it would take 3 days to dig out. Yeah, we'd get 2 feet, and then 3 days later, another 2 feet, and 3 days later, another 2 feet. Geez, I was raking a roof.
Hey, Jimmy D
Clearing
is
them.
reporting freezing rain where he's up by St. Louis. Sorry, buddy. Don't go driving. Don't go driving anywhere.
That's
Yep.
got to be rough.
Yep,
man.
we get freezing rain down here. We do get it too. It sucks when it happens, especially when they next morning you have to go to work. You need to leave an hour early, minimum.
Yeah.
Well, what we do is over here, yeah, we leave early, but we throw sand down on the roads because we don't see pavement here from, say, December all the way to March or April.
Yeah.
Once a road gets icebound, it stays icebound.
Mm. Wow.
And so we sprinkle gravel, the gravel and salt mixture.
Yeah.
I'll take some photos so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's pure ice, yeah, but it's got like you can actually see like it says gravel falls down on a spinning disc and it and it does like that pattern, you know, that stuff on the spitting disc makes, you know, makes like these radial lines, you know, of sand and salt.
Mhm.
Yeah, Iowa's full of it.
Yeah, yeah, and it helps. It helps a lot. It's like putting studs under your tires.
But the blowing snow sticks on it.
Yeah. And then that turns to ice. You know,
Right.
because every time a car or truck passes over it, it compresses it. Yeah.
Hmm. That's what eats the body off on the cars, man. Trucks.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, you can tell a car from Maine compared to a car, say, from California or North Carolina. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
does anyone have any New Year's resolutions they'd like to share? Anyone still do that?
Well, I'm gonna try one. I'm gonna try to quit smoking cigarettes.
Ah,
Wow.
that sounds good, Mike. I'd love to do that, but every time I quit smoking, I go right back to heroin. You know, when you drop one bad habit, another one just marches into your life.
Only you, TC. Only
Oh, I
you.
just got a Happy New Year from my sister in Florida.
Hey,
Yeah. Oh God, I got a flip phone. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
This. Go ahead.
I'm predicting that in California they're going to start pressuring people to take the COVID-19 test. But I already have an answer to what I'm going to tell the doctors when he says, "Would you like to take this test?" I'm going to say, "You know what? I flunked all of my tests in school, man. So no thanks."
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think California is going to melt down and break into 3 or 4 states
I wished.
in 2021.
That's a very bold prediction, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it may not happen in 2021, but you know.
And I'm
I'll
hoping
throw it out there.
I'm hoping what happens here is Gavin Newsom, not only will he lose his position as dictator of the state of California, but he'll also be charged with crimes against the American people. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought he was the emperor of
Well,
California.
yeah, no, he is, but he needs somebody to come along and, you know, with a scope and knock him off his perch.
Yeah. Hey, I do an impression of Gavin Newsom if anyone wants to hear it.
Oh, by all means.
Okay, all right. So this is my special New Year's Eve gift to all of you who follow us at Truth, Money, and Freedom. This is my Gavin Newsom impersonation. Good. Good. Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. What do you think?
Wasn't that the emperor or the dark shadow kind of guy?
Yeah. Well, actually,
Star Wars.
the weird part is the Emperor from Star Wars and Gavin Newsom are completely interchangeable characters.
They are, and
Okay,
they're related,
all right.
I hear.
Yeah.
Well, it is the largest economy in the United States, isn't it? California.
No. Used to be. I don't know what it is now.
Or is it Texas now?
Actually, Texas is moving up there because Silicon Valley has moved to Texas just recently.
Yeah, and Charles Schwab, too, moved from California to Texas.
And let's not forget Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Well,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
a career move, too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he wanted to leave California, but, you know, but then he got this job opportunity and he jumped on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I bet. No, everybody knows California's going to hell, so they're all leaving. Everybody but me, because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, but, you know, I've been all over this country, and people are all having a hard time everywhere.
Oh, I know, but there's just
Yeah.
something about California that makes me want to vomit.
Just the same all over.
Mm.
Yeah.
California, the traffic's worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Jimmy,
I just want to leave.
Yeah, Jimmy D thinks I'm losing it, gang. After all the kissy faces I made on the video yesterday and the Emperor, I'm sorry, Gavin Newsom impersonation I just did. Yeah.
Oh, damn it! I missed the Queen's Christmas message.
Oh, Mike.
Oh,
You
I
better
really
watch
wanted
it.
to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when she said it was going to be our last Christmas?
Hmm.
That was like maybe 4 Christmases ago.
Yeah, she said
This
it would.
your last Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have the virus ready at the time, Mike. I mean, she just was jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah. She was just too excited. Christmas spirit and all.
Too bad she didn't break a hip.
Well, her husband rolled a car over.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that hip joke isn't funny.
Oh,
Why?
that's right. GFI is having a bit of a problem.
Well, I'm having a bit of a problem too. I got a pre-osteo, whatever you might call it, hippie thing, you know.
Well, it's funny when it comes to people who are in authority, like politicians and people who are monarchies. And the reason why I say that is because, well, they all deserve it.
Oh, I thought that was gout.
Yeah, it could be gout.
Yeah, Pika says those mother ruckers are not to be trusted. He's referring to the authority figures. And
When
agree.
we get scurvy, they get gout. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't understand how it is that we don't have any income coming in, but they all still do. Something's wrong with this picture.
Uh-oh. Jimmy D says he's got
Well-
a big problem. Tell us what it is, Jimmy D. And guys,
I kinda
actually,
wish
hey, Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon. I'm getting really tired.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to, like I said, wait for a few more responses here on YouTube. Pika says, idiots going to ruin everything in my state. Oh, Jimmy D says
Yeah.
C64. So, yeah, Mike from Maine and Jimmy D have a lot in common.
I'm not far behind.
Yep.
What's C64 stand for?
He's 64 years old.
Yeah, we both grew up with George Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Don't forget, everyone, the big paradigm: Earth plus plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, God, plastic. Those poor fish and seals and whales.
You know, that's why the
Yeah.
Earth created man, is so that it could have plastic. And now it's getting rid of us so it can have all the plastic for itself.
Right.
That's what George Carlin did in the comedy routine. It was actually quite funny.
Yeah.
And Nevada Cargo says, don't forget New York. Yeah, that's right. My impersonation that I did of Gavin Newsom also works for Cuomo, believe it or not.
Mm.
They sound exactly the same.
I call him Governor Homo.
Yeah, well, it's very questionable at this point.
Yeah.
And
Him and his brother on CNN.
Oh, gee, don't get Gerald Celente started on him.
He comes across like a soy boy.
I know he does.
I'm talking about the guy on CNN.
Yeah.
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 Well, he was on ABC or NBC. Yeah, he was on one. Yeah. Chris Cuomo.
That's it.
Right.
Mhm.
Chris Cuomo. Yeah, I forget his name.
The TV personality. Yeah.
Yeah, some personality. Huh.
Well, he hopes to follow in Trump's footsteps, you know.
Yeah. What? Be charged with crimes against the American people?
Yeah.
Yep.
Rush to
Something like that.
conclusion?
Okay.
Russia.
Tell you what, gang, I am going to shut down the live stream here for all of you. There's 7 still watching. And I want to, first off, thank you very much for following Truth, Money, and Freedom. And I'm glad when you guys can come in when we do these live streams, because I talk about these guys in the podcasts all the time. You guys are always welcome. If you guys want to be a part of Truth, Money, and Freedom on Discord and talk to us in real time, you're always welcome. The invitation link is down below in the description section of every video, including this one. And thank you for hanging out with us, sticking with us. And, you know, we're giving you some of the Drury part of the news as we see it from the bond market point of view. But, you know, let's try and have a good year in 2021. Let's try and stay positive. And, you know, remember that we're all in this together. And I do mean that. We're all in this together, gang. Those of us who are in America, I mean, we sink or swim together here. So, you know, let's be supportive of our neighbors, our friends, our family, of course. And just keep on picking up some precious metals if you can. It'd be a good idea. Some cryptos, and help prepare yourself and your families for what's to come. But I'd also like to offer a prayer, if I may. And,
Oh, please do.
okay. And dear Lord in heaven, please guide us through 2021 and beyond, that we may be healthy, happy, prosperous, and we never, ever forget that blessings come from you, and we share them with others. We pray all of this in we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
And not be sterile from vaccine.
Yeah, man. We should have put
Especially that.
Yeah. Let's try to avoid the vaccine at all costs. Let's try not to wear masks when we don't have to. I mean, let's with the Mark Dice impersonation of Brian Steller. I don't know that impression. I know the Hickory Dickory Dock. I know that one, but that's as far as I take it.
Yeah.
So I want all of you to remember we're all in this together, regardless, no matter who we are, no matter where we are, no matter what our social standing is, no matter how much family we have. Remember, we have family and friends. And I think 2021 is going to be a very interesting year. And I think that we all need to be mindful of who our friends are. We want to make sure that we don't have sociopaths and psychopaths in our circles. You can't avoid narcissists. They're going to be there, gang. But it's time to make sure that you know who you can trust. I think the time's coming where you really need to discern the kind of people that you want to keep around you. And I'm talking, of course, not necessarily online, but in real life. And I think that, you know, basically it might be a good idea for those of us who are prayerful people to keep on praying harder than ever, because I think it's going to get very interesting in 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2021, I'd like to have Mark Dice come here to my hometown and offer a 100-ounce bar of silver or a Hershey bar. I'll take the 100-ounce bar.
Oh, gosh darn it. I was thinking Andrew Dice Clay, not Mark Dice.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you guys, once again, all of you listening in on YouTube, thank you once again for joining us. Join us anytime you like on Discord. You guys are always welcome. And once again, I'd like to say, may God bless all of you and all of your families. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful new year, and thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. So to Jimmy D, Nevada Cario, The Outsider, let's see, we had several other. We had Robert Smith with us. We had Green Eyed Flower. Oh boy, scrolling through the list here. Let's see, Tribulation Prepper. Paul with the Talk Junkies, by the way, another YouTuber. And Nevada Carios too. Lisa Marie. Let's see, Iron Man. And Man Bear Pig, Sojourner. Menes Optera. And everyone that I'm forgetting. Thank you for joining us this night. May God bless each and every one of you, and have a happy new year.
Good night, everyone.